Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's your number one chief rock, Uncle Freezie, and I'm joined by the creator and host of Keeping It Ron and the co-creator, co-producer, co-owner of Still Knicks Fans, Ron. Brooklyn in the building. Brooklyn, stand up. And you know we gotta shout out every borough every spot in Brooklyn. Every time I say Brooklyn, because the people from Bushwick be like, "Yo, you don't ever say Bushwick," and the people from Fort Greene be like, "Yo, you never mention Fort Greene." So shout out to Red Hook, Flatbush, East Flatbush, Crown Heights, Bedford Stuyvesant, Fort Greene, Dumbo, Canarsie, Coney Island. Who else we forgetting? Williamsburg.
Got it. Hey, gotta get Williamsburg in there, baby.
Representing for sure. Who else we forgetting? Crown Heights, Bed-Stuy, Bushwick, Flatbush, Red Hook,
Brownsville,
Coney Island,
East New York.
The
whole shebang, baby.
East New York, bro, ain't nothing like getting robbed. You ain't never been robbed until you've been robbed by dudes in East New York. You know, they don't want just your valuables, they want your spirit. You ain't never been robbed until you've been robbed in East New York. They want to steal
that's
your
an experience.
No, get away from my door. Yo, every time I see so you know Miss Mocha is from the Bahamas, right? So I love the Caribbean. So Caribbeans, all my Caribbeans out there, man. Salute to y'all, man. Salute to all of the West Indian. Salute to all of y'all, right? Miss Mocha always come up to the door. Like every time we do vibes, she always come up to the door and give me the alert. So I just found out that Angela Bofield died yesterday.
Oh man.
Yeah, right. I'm like, yo, how do you know? She timed this perfectly. Right? Like when we first started doing it, she came up to me, she was like, yo, you know, Biz Markie died like 20 minutes ago. And I was like, what? Why you wait till I turn the camera on?
Man.
Oh, talking about it just popped up on her phone. You must have the Bruce Wayne phone. But anyway,
you know how it is. We always say that, we just found out Jerry West died. Now Angela Bofield, it come in threes. So I don't want to hear nothing else.
I don't want to hear nothing else. But everybody turn your phone off.
Thanks.
So let's get to the R&B conversation, right? The R&B conversation is one that is near and dear to my heart. I think it's just like the hip hop conversation. A lot of people get it wrong because they don't know, because their R&B sensibilities or origin is different. So if what's your first experience with R&B music?
Well, I mean, a lot of people don't know this, but as a youngin, I actually used to run to the store for Smokey Robinson, and no, I'm just joking. Wouldn't that be a great story though? No, really, it's just growing up listening to the music that my mother and my grandmother would play. Not necessarily knowing what I was listening to, but it sounded good. They definitely enjoyed it, which made me enjoy it. But I just knew that I was one of those people, when I listened to the music, I could tell that it was good and I liked it. It wasn't one of those where, some people just kind of get into their own thing growing up. They listen to whatever they listen to and they like their own thing, but they're not open to other things. I was open to everything. So it wasn't just R&B music, but R&B music is, I think, the genre of music that resonated the most with me.
Right. It was like a linchpin of your experiences, right? Like it was like maybe 45% of what you listen to, maybe. Maybe
Yeah.
40, something like that.
Well, I mean, growing up in my household, I would say, I mean, maybe even 80% of what was happening here. You know, the parties that my grandmother used to throw in the apartment, you know, watching the old people talk and do their thing, drinking champagne. Yeah.
Champizzle.
Yeah.
Got to get that peach champagne. Smoke them Virginia
Mhm.
Slims.
Yes, sir.
But the reason why I ask is because my R&B experience is different.
Mm.
So um when I was growing up, there was soul music,
Mhm.
right? Black music, right? That's what it was called, black music, right? The Temptations, that was black music, right? And then you had your rock music. You had um groups like, I was too young for the Beatles, right? The Beatles, even when they came out before I was born, and they basically faded away before I knew. But then there were groups like Traffic and
Mhm.
The Who. Traffic has a
Mhm.
song called "Dear Mr. Fantasy," right? Dear Mr. It was in that Avengers movie, right?
Okay.
Right. And so there was like a separation of all the music, right? They were like the jazz music. Then there was the soul music, James Brown, Joe Tex, Wilson Pickett, Jackie Wilson. Every time you saw them, it was soul music because they were singing from a certain place, right? And then
Mhm.
you had your discotheque music, where it didn't even matter what they were saying. The groove was funky, right? The music was funky, right? I don't remember R&B being a thing until after disco died,
Mm.
right? Like I don't remember music being labeled R&B until, like, I remember going in the store and having sections: soul music, black music, jazz, gospel, right? That's what music was. Like, it didn't have, this is before, I don't even, to be honest with you, I don't even remember R&B being labeled R&B. And this is from my personal experience. And I was waist deep in the culture. I don't remember R&B being labeled R&B until hip hop,
Mm.
right? I don't
Hmm.
right. And so the reason why I asked that is because I remember the distinction, right? The soul singers, like, all the four-part harmony groups, right? When you can name whoever, such and such and such and such, and the such and such is Blue Magic, the Temptations, whoever. I remember that being soul music. And then there was the disco music, and people that used to do soul ventured into that. People that used to do soul ventured out of that. Oh, let me add funk. Let me also add funk, because funk was
Mm.
weird, right? Funk too. But I don't remember R&B being a thing until I think R&B became a thing right before Madonna became a thing in the early
Mm.
80s. Right? Like right before the freestyle. Remember Lisa Lisa and Cult Jam
Of course,
and
yeah.
and them. Um, I think that's when, for instance, I'll give you an example of one of the first R&B songs that I remember hearing, and I knew it wasn't soul, it wasn't disco, it wasn't hip hop. It may have been freestyle, it may have been R&B, but it wasn't pop. It was from a teeny little artist named Patrice Rushen, right? She had a song, "You Remind Me," and for those that know, you remind me from Mary J. Blige. It kind of took that like that template from Patrice Rushen, where you knew R&B was like different from soul, because you weren't gonna have in R&B, you weren't gonna have all that yelling and all that belting out of notes. It was gonna be more controlled, right? Like I remember R&B. I knew R&B was R&B when I first heard Luther Vandross. Like Luther Vandross's first song, Never Too Much. When you heard that doom 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 doom, you knew that wasn't disco, and you know it wasn't gonna be soul, right? You knew it was something different from everything that you had, because it was funky with the bass, right? And then it also had the trappings of the background singers, right? And it also had subject matter that made sense, but it also wanted to make you dance immediately. As soon as you heard like these songs, you know, you wanted to dance. And all soul songs, the soul songs from back in the day, mostly wanted to kind of make you slow drag with your girl or something, or write her a 12-page letter about how much you loved them. Right. I'll give another example. When I heard the song Off the Wall by Michael Jackson, right? I was like, so that's pop and disco, but it's not really, it's pop and it's kind of freestyle, but it's something that's my experience. What's yours? You do you have a similar experience that you share?
Well, I guess, I mean, for me, it was it was incorporated by like growing up, right, listening to my mother and my grandmother listen to the music. But then when I started to kind of get into my own listening and understanding what I was actually listening to and what I liked, it kind of, it was similar in the fact that I think for me, what really like made an impact on me is the music of the 80s, the R&B music of the 80s, because that is what was on the radio constantly for me. That's when WBLS and 98.7 Kiss were really big. Yeah, really big at those times. And so I remember listening to all types of that 80s soul music, where you heard the Keith Washingtons, you heard the
Howard Hewitts.
The
You heard,
why am I
Michael Cooper.
Michael Cooper. Why am I forgetting this dude's last name? Freddie Jackson. Wow. I'm like, how am I forgetting Jackson? Yeah, like Freddie Jackson, all of that stuff, man. The Alexander O'Neills, you know, all of that music.
The Hushtown Management. Remember that? You remember when Hush Management was a thing with Lilo Thomas and what's my guy? Start Love Over. I keep forgetting his name. Start Love Over. Back to the
I'm bad with names, man, but
and I'll forget about her. I see his face.
Yeah, me too. I'm bad with names. I'm so bad with names.
Miles J. That's his name.
That's his name, Miles?
Yeah,
Miles yeah. Okay. Start. Yeah. That's him. Yeah.
Because he also had a song called A Fool for You. I'll Be a Fool for You. You know what I'm saying? He had that song. There was Lilo Thomas, Melba Moore, one of my favorite artists, Melissa Morgan. I love some Melissa Morgan, bro. I love some Melissa Morgan, man. I ain't even gonna hold you, bro. Melissa Morgan, bro. Yeah. That's my darling.
I think, I think that's what kind of, you know, like I said, it kind of goes from that, from, you know, watching my mother and my grandmother have their little get-togethers and parties, then getting into the 80s classic R&B, or what, if you want to call it classic soul music. Because I felt like, see, my whole thing is, for me, but I don't know. I kind of feel like R&B music kind of grew and blossomed in the late 80s going into the 90s. I felt like that was R&B music, and its predecessor was classic soul music. I felt like it was a different style of R&B, little more soulful, powerful voices, slower tempos. I just felt like, it changed a little bit late 80s going into the early 90s. There are some songs that came out in the 80s too that had bops and bigger rhythms, but I just felt like overall the music was a little slower paced and different.
Right. Yeah, they were, man. The R&B thing, because I remember buying Jet magazine, and Jet magazine would have the top 20 songs in it for that month, right? Or for that week, however, whatever the timeline that they were issued, right? And I would look, man, and it would say black singles, right? Black music. It wouldn't have R&B or rap or any of
Right.
that. It
That's
just said
true.
black.
Yeah.
Right. And I think the turning point, from the 70s going into the 80s was funk and disco were never meant to be, in my opinion, our main form of music. But they were hot for their time, funk and disco. Like right now, you don't search your phone for funk music, not new funk anyway. You don't search your phone for new disco music. At least I don't. I don't know if people do. I'm not for sure if it's as popular as it once was. But what I do know is that there is a R&B following out there. I had the conversation a long time ago. I mean, this is a long time ago, right? I was probably maybe 13 or 14 years old, right? I had a conversation with a dude. He was the leader of a band out of Jersey City, right? And I thought I knew everything, and he knew everything. I didn't know. He knew everything. And he was like, yo, we got this, man. Our new album gonna be the greatest album ever. And I was like, man, it ain't gonna be better than Off the Wall. This is me talking to a dude named Cool. He had a band, right? I just talking to a dude named Cool. It was a gang of them, right, that did music together, right? From Jersey City. I was talking to right in front of Miss Newton House on Dwight Street in Jersey City, right? Man, this album gonna be. My father was out there. Boy, you know who you talking to? I was like, yeah, I know who I'm talking to. This is when you're a teenager, you don't know nothing. But he mentioned something then, like, hey man, funk is dying, and people got to get away from funk. Them funk groups they ain't gonna make it, right? This new hippity hop, funk ain't gonna make it. And so I was like, funk. By that time, I wasn't listening to funk no more either. When you're young, you always want to listen to cutting edge, whatever new cutting edge. And I started listening to some of their songs like Celebration and Joanna. And I was like, yo, this is not fire. Boom, boom, boom. And then the horns come in and play. And the horn section have like a 2.5 minute thing. The drummer have a 2.5 minute thing. Triborough Gigolo is in the building. DSJ salute. I want to ask you this. This is one of the questions that I wanted to tap into your knowledge, base. Do you think commercial radio created R&B for those 3-minute get through everything type songs in order for you to get back to advertising commercials?
That's a good question. I would have to say, yeah, I definitely think they did have a big role in creating that. And the more and more we know about music in today's culture, and how there's industry plants and certain ways that the bigger companies have steered us to artists and styles of music. I would definitely say that was probably something that the radio station had a big hand in doing, with regards to, rhythm and blues, R&B music. Yeah, I could say that. I would agree with that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me because um R&B definitely it's cooler than funk. No, I shouldn't say that because people who into the funk music, they very cool. They some cool
Right.
cats.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
just R&B music is oh, there you go. R&B music is more popular than funk, right?
Right.
It's the pop music of soul, if you will, right? There's no, R&B is not pop, but it's pop-ish,
Right.
because there's definitely some R&B that's on a different line. It's a different
Right.
tone. So
Right.
I definitely think that was birthed and created, with the help of the radio stations. And yeah, so I definitely agree with that.
Right. There are different elements of um black music. And R&B is just not black music, by the way. I'm just speaking from
Mhm.
my entrance point and my vantage point, right? I'm just telling it the way I see it from the way that I entered, basically,
Mhm.
right? There were um what's the word I'm looking for? I think, well, you know what? Let me not. I'm not going to go there because I don't know how to formulate my thought on that. But let me ask this: what about R&B appeals to you most?
Um it's more than one thing. It's a combination of things, but for
Ah,
me, I think it's partially uh the tempo and rhythm of the music. I there's certain songs that when it comes on, or the style of song, the way the music is, the rhythm of it, it captures me. So I just fall in love with how that sounds before I've even heard a word, right? But then I think what's really caught me, what really catches me with regards to R&B music is the harmonies.
okay,
And harmonies kind of, I don't know, I think I'm big on harmonies. And it doesn't have to be a group of people. It could be one person with great background vocals.
great,
It's
yeah,
just however is laid out, and it could be that one person that's doing all the backgrounds.
right.
But it's just how it all translates on the track is what really it reels me in.
You know what I think got me loving R&B is the fact that I didn't get a full meal with it. Like I'll give you an example of it. Papa was a Rolling Stone, right?
Hmm.
When you listen to great funk slash disco song, it starts off boom 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 boom, and then it's like a build
Mm-hmm.
boom 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 boom, and then the violins coming in, and then about 40 seconds later you can hear the shakers boom boom.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like this great build up to Papa was a Rolling Stone. By the time Dennis Edwards starts to sing, it's like 2 minutes and 45 seconds into a song, and he's not even singing. Really, he's more chanting like it was the 4th of September, a day that I always remember. That was the day my daddy died. However, he sing it, right? But that Thanksgiving dinner of a song, right? In R&B, right? They get right to it, right? Right. It gets right to soon as you hear the first 10 seconds of um Don't Wake Me, I'm Dreaming by Christopher Williams. I'm Dreaming by
Mm.
Christopher. You hear Don't Wake Me, I'm dreaming, and then it's right into the song. Girl, don't wake me, and you just there's no buildup. It's like
Right.
you go from eating a chicken dinner to eating chicken tenders, right? So now instead of you like, oh man, we eating chicken again this week, man, you can eat chicken tenders multiple times. Bro, you can chop up chicken tenders and put it in your salad. You know what I'm saying? For me, that's my experience.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Um Disco Inferno by the Tramps. Long
Mm-hmm.
intro, you know what I'm saying? And then, man, big, broad, man, the orchestration, burn, baby, burn. And the dude is singing gospel over the song, right? You can hear it in his soul, right? But
Mm-hmm.
it's a dance song, right? But R&B to me is more like 2 minutes and 45 seconds. It's like a mini movie. It's like a TV show, right? It's like when you watch Halloween and you're like, how many people is Jason Voorhees going to kill in this movie, right? All this stuff. R&B cut out all that stuff and just get straight to Jason Voorhees. In my
True.
opinion.
No, I mean that makes sense. But it's funny, Freezy. Like when you said that, you made me think of something that I didn't think of before because it didn't matter to me. You know what I mean? I didn't care about it because all I care about is the music. I'm listening to the music. I like the music or I don't like the music. But I didn't really think about that. I know that things have changed over the years, but then I didn't really think about why. So, for example, when you were saying the whole thing about how music was, with the build up, right? And then now R&B gets right to it. It also made me think about how everybody points to these days with the attention span of the consumer,
Right.
right? Because those songs, like if you look at classic soul, R&B, whatever you want to call it, from the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, there was some 3-minute, 4-minute songs here, but a lot of songs was 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, like
Right.
long songs, right?
Right.
And so obviously, at some point, the shift had to happen where they also took into account people's attention spans and how interested they are in the music and how it translates. They couldn't do it in the same way they do it today because there's not a lot of metrics and ways of measuring that like they are today. But back
Right.
then, obviously something triggered people to say, you know what, we need to get right to it, to your
Right.
point.
Get right to it.
Yeah.
I think it was, and I think the trigger, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
is the advertising dollar.
Mm-hmm.
The advertising dollar is what got people there because if you look at the sense of for instance, the first time I ever heard this song, Strafe had a song called Set It Off. The first time I heard it, I heard the whistle blowing. It came on like after Double Dutch Bus. You remember Double Dutch Bus going down the street, and so at the end of Double Dutch Bus, you hear these whistles, and it's just playing. And I'm thinking it's an intro, and then I hear a English dude come in and say, "Y'all want this party started right? Y'all want this party started quickly, right? Well, set it off on your," and so they go into this thing, and that is that's the intro after the pre-intro, the pre-intro,
Right.
then the intro, and then the first verse. Is that for me? Don't make me laugh, because if you say you burnt tea, did you burn tea? No. What? Oh, okay. Bro, I was going to clown you on national TV, Miss Mocha. Okay, don't your story. Miss Mocha's storytelling is bad. Everybody, she told the story all wrong. Yo, because if she said, I was gonna say, if you were about to tell me that you burnt tea. So, anyway, I'm sorry for the distraction, everybody. That's what it's like when you be married to like your best friend and the love of your life, somebody you can't, you know what I'm saying? That's what it's like right there, right? But if she would have told we've been together for like 30 something years, and I don't give a damn. If she told me she burnt tea, I was gonna tell everybody. How the hell you burnt tea? But anyways, the point is, when I heard Set It Off, I knew that was a song that you really couldn't shave down and put on the radio because all the parts were dope. And what I found over the years is that DJs would use it as a filler song, whether it's on the radio, like the late night DJ. If he there from 2 to 5, he'll throw on Set It Off, and at 3 o'clock, and then go downstairs and smoke a cigarette and come back, and it'll still be playing. You know what I'm saying? Or if DJ's at a party, the party is from 10 to 3, he'll play Set It Off in that 10 o'clock hour before everybody get to the party. You know what I'm saying? Just keep the music bumping and all of that, right? But when I heard Set It Off, and then when I heard it kind of start to go away and be replaced by Forget Me Nots by Patrice Rushen. Y'all know Forget Me Nots. Everybody know Send Me Forget Me Nots. Everybody remember that. Right? I knew then that I was like, dang, that song is so short. And then when you buy the album, like, remember when you used to buy the tape? It was short on the tape. And then if you bought the maxi single, they'd have an extended club version. So it wasn't even the original. It was a remixed version so that you can play in the club. But the original was like 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Which I will say that, I mean, I know that's another way. It's more revenue. It's spent in a different area. But I also do appreciate, once again, like me being a young person listening to R&B and just loving it for what it was, but not looking too deeply. Now that I go back and I look at these people that did this, that may have had a shorter song for whatever reason, and then they created, different versions. When you buy the CD, the deluxe, and you get like the club version or the reprisal or whatever, the reprise version, and all these different things. And I'm like, you know what? Now I appreciate that, because I understand you're catering to different audiences, but you're also catering to some people that really love a full song. Like, I don't want to hear, like, the worst thing ever to me, and I'm a little biased with it. Any music that I hear that's less than 3 minutes, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I know today, in today's world, that seems to be something that happens all the time. There's 2-minute songs. Like, 2 minute is the algorithm. Like, they've shown that that's the attention span these days. So songs are getting shorter and shorter. But I'm a big fan of at least 3 minutes. If it's 3.5 minutes, cool. 4 minutes is what I was used to, but I could deal with 3.5. I'm cool with that. But it really used to upset me over the years when I used to hear songs. Some of my favorite songs are 2 minutes or less. And I used to be interludes. I used to be so upset. I'm like, yo, this is banging. What? This should have been a song. Yet you want to put out this other song. This is your single that isn't that good. I don't know. I don't know who be in those rooms sometime, but that used to bother me a lot.
Right. So I'm gonna ask you this we're about 33 minutes in, right? I don't know what your schedule's like. I don't want to take up.
I'm good.
Okay,
I'm good.
Okay.
This is R&B.
So in about 20 minutes, I want to ask you your top 10 R&B songs of all time. Right, in about 20 minutes. I just want to give you 20 minutes to think about it. Chat, I want to give y'all about 20 minutes to think about the greatest R&B songs of all time, right? That'll be 20 minutes, about 20 minutes or so from now. I'm going to put a spreadsheet on the screen. I'm going to clip it and then maybe put it out there for IG or X or TikTok or whatever. And then that way we can share that with the world. But I wanted to give you guys time to think about that. Right, I want you to give you time sometime. The top 10 greatest R&B songs of all time, right? But for right now, I want to ask you: are there any current artists that move you in that way that R&B artists moved you when you were an adolescent?
No. No. There are some R&B artists today that I think are pretty good, and some of their music, I can listen to it and enjoy it, and I think that they help continue to keep the R&B music alive that I grew up on, or that I like, should I say. But none of them moved me the way the music used to, from my favorite artists growing up watching R&B music blossom. And the reason why I say that is because um I treated R&B like it was something special. You know what I mean? When I listened to R&B, I could listen to the same song 50 times in a row. If I wouldn't, but I could. That's how much I liked the music I was listening to. And it didn't matter what mood I was in. If I was happy, sad, it didn't make a difference. I don't
Right.
care if it's sunny outside or raining. It didn't matter. If the music I liked it and it was
Kenny
good
Stand
and
the
the feel,
Rain. Yeah.
yeah, it didn't matter. So I can't necessarily say that there's anything of today's music that grabs me like that. I definitely have heard some good stuff. Like here's the thing. There's artists in today's world of music that are super talented and can sing and have all types of ability, but that doesn't mean they make the music necessarily that I want to hear. For example, Luke James is supremely talented. The dude
Yeah.
can sing at all levels, has a great falsetto, has a nice, crisp singing voice. Can, you know what I mean? Like he can, you know, check all the boxes. Doesn't mean he knows how to make great R&B music, or who's working with him helps him make great R&B music. And
Right.
that's the difference. We were in, sometimes you get spoiled. And that's the one thing that I think when it comes to R&B, there's all these questions and conversations going back and forth. Oh, what's the best era? 60s, 50s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Yeah, we could all fight about what we think is the best era, my era, your era, whatever. The bottom line is, from the point that you think your era was dope to the point where I think my era was dope, all of that was incredible. There was so much competition,
Right.
and there was so much of artists pushing each other, because that was what they needed to do, because the levels, the standards were high, and you
Right.
had to come out with good music. We
Right.
don't have that now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me add, I'm gonna ask this on an intellectual level. So when I ask it, when I ask it, mind you, I'm only asking this question for context,
Mhm.
right? Not because I'm trying to pry or get to a different space, right? Just context.
Mhm.
Do you think your disconnection with the music is the fact that you grew up and got older? And the artists that are your same age don't produce music on a regular basis. Like for instance, do you think it's a no, that's my son's num music? Like when you hear Ari Lennox, you're like, that's my sons and them music, man. That's they stuff.
Hmm. No, I wouldn't say that, because there's one or two songs that Ari Lennox has that are really, I really like them. One in particular. So, and that sounds like the music that I like listening to. So I can rock with that. It still doesn't give me that same feel. And it's maybe because I don't hear enough of it. Like that's a one-off to me. Like there's not enough of that type of music to kind of keep me invested in the artist. And so I think it's less about me growing up, because my ears haven't changed. I know what I like, and that still reigns true. I think
Okay.
the artists have changed. I think some of them, their sound, they want to progress, or they want to change over the years. They don't want to do the same old thing. And then there's the other artists that have a formula that's worked, but the industry has changed, and so they don't want the artists to continue to put out that same formula, because the consumers, especially with the young people these days, are just in a different headspace. They don't want to hear that, because I'm one of those people. I don't. I know that you want an artist to evolve with regards to their talent. I'm okay with that. You can give me bits and pieces of evolution, but your core and what you're good at and what I grew up liking about you is what I would love to continue to hear. You don't have to change up for me. I could, like, I know, and I may be in the minority with that, because I know one of the things when I was growing up, when it came to an artist, when they came out with a style of music, it's okay. Oh, that's banging. That's let's see what the sophomore album looks like. But
Right.
they wanted progression. They wanted to see where the artist takes the music now. I was okay with new songs from the same artist being sung similar ways, maybe some different styles of background music and vote, but I was okay with that. As long as I like it and it sounds the way I could listen to, you can make 3 albums of that to me, as long as they new songs but new lyrics, and some of the music is different and changed, and it's not just the same tempo of everything. I'm good. But there's so much with
I'm
regards
confused.
to
I'm confused by what you're saying.
okay. Well, what are you confused about? Go ahead.
I'm confused about them putting out the same type music but changing it. That part.
When I say the same type of music, I mean if Babyface comes out with a Babyface song, it's a Babyface song, right?
Right.
Okay. But in today's music, Babyface's style of music doesn't necessarily hit the same, especially with this new generation of young people listening to music. They
Right.
want more up tempo things. And, not that Babyface couldn't do up tempo, he could, but that wasn't his bag. You know what I mean? He had some really good up tempo stuff with regards to like the whispers or whatever, but that wasn't his bag. Like when you want up tempo, you get it from somewhere else. So in today's society, up tempo is a lot of what people listen to. They want a part of it. They want to get on the dance floor and dance. So that would require, if Babyface wants to have a certain level of success, he's got to get into that up tempo bag, and that's not necessarily what I want to hear from him.
Okay.
Which is like that's my example of what I mean. Like, there's tons of artists out there that had a formula for success and did it for maybe 1 or 2 albums, and then you find them on Behind the Music and they talk about, well, the 3rd album my deal was up, and there's new executive that came in and they had a different vision for what they wanted the label to look like, and that changed the music. So stuff like that has a lot to do with what I'm talking about.
Okay. I understand where you're coming from. I can't though. I don't think I can. I think R&B, the origin maybe for R&B is maybe I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna sound like a jerk, but I'll say it anyway. I think Jersey City, New Jersey created R&B. I'm gonna say my hometown. I'm gonna say my hometown invented R&B, right? I'm gonna say that, right? And I'm kidding, but I'm kind of not. But I am, but I'm kind of not. I think the R&B conversation maybe starts with LA and Babyface and Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Where I'm not saying they created R&B, but that first SOS band song, like, I don't care about the other girl, just be good to me. Hey, that was not that was not Purple Funk. Yeah, I know Purple Funk. I'm talking about the Minneapolis sound. It wasn't Purple Funk. It wasn't Jelly Bean and all of them. It wasn't Prince. And all of them type of that it wasn't that sound from that Memphis sound. it wasn't the um. No, I'm good. I'm good on. I don't want you to burn nothing. Okay, all right. So I think it's. I want to say I want to give Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis and L.A. and Babyface credit for taking the R&B infancy when it was post disco pre freestyle and grabbed it and turned it into R&B, right? Because there was a song called "And the Beat Goes On" by the Whispers. You remember that? It did like the sing along, and the beat goes on, everlasting. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like that element. There's an element to the early R&B that gave you the sing along feel to it. That thrust R&B kind of into our laps, because now you didn't have to be a great singer to sing along with the catchiness of the R&B, right? It wasn't commercial like pop. It was still drowned in soul, so to speak, but it still had that everyday feel to it. Like for instance, I always felt like soul music was formal and R&B is everyday, right? And how you can follow where I'm going with it is when you looked at the Ohio players, when you looked at their outfit, it looked like it took them 14 hours to get that outfit on, and all of them matched. Everybody had on a similar outfit. Even if one dude had panties on this shoulder, the other dude may have had panties on the other shoulder, but he had panties on his shoulder. If they had the tuxedo jacket, the bullfighter tuxedo with no shirt on, and you can see their stomach and they taco meat, everybody was dressed like that, right? Everybody. R&B, with R&B artists, New Edition, they look like everyday people, just clean, right? They look like when you first saw New Edition, Candy Girl, when you saw the Candy Girl video, they was clean, but they looked like they was dressed to go to school. That's how we used to dress to go to school, be fresh, right? And so I think part of the formality of five dudes choreographed, everybody doing the same step, dressed alike, and all of that stuff, I think part of that was maybe removed a little bit, even though New Edition still had a lot of that, right? They still had a lot of that, but there was an element of I liken it to, I compare it to Curtis Blow. When you saw Curtis Blow, right? And his suit, you know what I'm saying, doing the Christmas rapping, right? When you saw Christmas rapping, and then you saw Run DMC with an Adidas tracksuit and Adidas on, right? They didn't dress up like Curtis Blow. They didn't dress up like Houdini, right? Houdini looked like sophisticated dudes, you know what I'm saying, uptown, you know they was getting into a Mercedes. Run DMC looked like the dudes that were selling nickel bags on the corner.
Right.
And I think in my opinion, that's part of the distinction with soul music and black structured music and R&B. Here are these. It's not a chicken dinner. Here are these chicken tenders. Do what you want with them. To me, that's what it was like.
I can dig that. I can dig it. Yeah, I see what you're saying. And, the other thing, too, is I also think that me and you, or should I say you and I, see, I was gonna make a little. See, that's how I know your R&B. I was gonna say something in reference.
Me and you was Tony. By the way.
Thank you. I think when it comes to R&B music, we like a lot of the same songs, but I think we also like it for different. I think we like different parts of R&B as well. Like, I find myself being more into the harmonies, as I mentioned, and maybe the vocal inflections, but whatever. And I know that you are big on that as well, but you're big on the music,
Right.
the actual, and if there's a band involved, I know you love that.
Right.
Which hints you thinking that R&B music was really a Jersey City thing that blew up, which I understand where you're going with that.
Bro, the Manhattans, bro. You got to give the Manhattans up.
Manhattans were great.
Yeah, the
Manhattans were
Manhattans were
great.
great. Riff. You remember that group Riff?
Yeah,
Part of
yeah,
them
of
are from
course.
Patterson, part of
Fair East Side High.
yeah, the light skinned dude. He used to hit on my
Yeah.
sister. He from Jersey. He used to live up the street from me in Jersey City.
Oh wow, look at that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. He could sing too, by the way. Just give him
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, he was dope. I remember them. I've got them recorded on an old VHS tape when they did Showtime at the Apollo,
Oh,
and they did the Arsenio Hall show. I got both of those.
you,
Yeah, I'm telling you.
you talking about the song "Serious"?
Yeah, Serious, and there was another one. Oh man, what was it? It was an up tempo song. I can't remember the name of it. I'm bad with names.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And let's not forget Jersey City's own, the queen of R&B, Miss Christina Milian.
Oh yeah, well of course.
I had to throw
Thank
that
you.
one in there.
And
I don't want you to forget about that one.
And Heather B, you gonna throw Heather B in
Oh,
there?
Heather B. But look, Heather B was hip hop. It's a little different.
Heather B was
okay.
hip hop. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think I see where you're going though. I see what you're saying. I get it. I get it. I think it's more of like the bottom line for me is I'm okay with hearing similar music from artists that I like.
Really?
Yeah. I'm a big fan.
Benny
Like
started
there's I think Benny agrees. There is a R&B group that I don't know if you're familiar with. These guys are really good at what they do, and they have great harmonies. They're called Boys to Men, and Boys to Men did something so special with the harmonies that they reeled me in, and I couldn't escape it. I couldn't get out of it. Okay, they reeled me in, and when I heard the harmonies. And I'm not even talking about the classic harmonies on their best songs. I'm talking about the harmonies that are on the not so well-known songs. That's what caught me. That's what got me. So yeah, I mean that's what it got into the whole thing that I started liking groups even more than I like the individual artists at some points. So it's because of them harmonies, man. Them harmonies did it. DSJ says he knows what them harmonies is about. I mean, he said it before, but
right. No doubt. You ready? You ready, bro?
I'm ready.
For this, let me and everybody, I when I spoke to Ron, I spoke to Ron about doing this, I wanted to give the conversation some time to build. So let me see. Let me put this up here. Can you see that, bro?
Yep, I see it.
Okay. So when I spoke to Ron, I wanted to give the conversation some time to build. So I want to do that before I put the link in the chat. I want to do this, and then maybe afterwards we'll put the link in the chat, and then we'll have a more broad conversation. But I wanted to pick Ron's brain about this and a few other things. But I definitely want to get you guys' input if you guys are free and available to jump in and rock with us. Don't think we forgot about y'all, man, because without y'all, none of this stuff is even remotely fun. So let me do this, and then we'll discuss. Right. So let me ask this. Is there a song, before we get started, is there a song, right, that you absolutely feel like should get its just due but doesn't make this list?
A song that should get its just
Should be
due,
in
but
this conversation, right? Should be in this conversation, but you can't add it for one reason or another.
um, hmm, hmm. That's tough because if I if I think about it and it's that good that I think it should be, then it's on my list. So it's tough. Hmm. Oh, well, it's such a good song, but it wouldn't be on my top list. So yeah, all right, maybe End of the Road.
End of the Road is a just miss for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So just missed, right? End of the road. All right. Let me do Boys to Men. Let me see. I'm gonna move these over here. And this is a very raw presentation, everybody. And End of the Road came out in '92, right?
Sounds about right.
Let's say '92. Okay, we'll say '92. All right, I'm gonna add Untitled. How does it feel?
Oh. Mm. Mm. Mm-hmm.
Now, it doesn't have to stay in the spot. Now, if you want to add it to the top 10, that's cool. But I'm gonna add that here. If I can type. If I can type. There we go. 1996. Well, that was 1999, right? 1998? Let's say 98. Let's say 98. Untitled. How does it feel? Okay. All right. All right. You know what? And I can
2000.
2000. Okay. Okay, 2000. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So the top 10 greatest R&B songs of all time, right? I am going to let me do this. I'm gonna let Ron, I'm gonna ask you to just reel off some, and then I'm gonna add maybe one or two. Like this will be
Okay.
Ron's list. I'm just gonna add a couple. Or do you want to debate them? Or do you want to think about the list together?
We can debate them.
All right.
Because I think our lists are going to be different. We might have a couple similar things, but I think our ears are tuned a little differently.
Okay. Okay. All right. How do you want to start the list?
So I don't know. So number one is number one. Is that the greatest R&B song of all time?
No, we could just name 10 and then we can move them up
Okay.
and down. We can name 10 and
Okay.
then we can just move them up and down. It's not a big deal.
All
I
right.
type sometimes I type slow, sometimes I type quick.
Oh, look at you.
I'm sweet and thicker than Chickle Stick. Probably not. No. Okay. Yeah, did I reach right there? Yeah, I probably reached. Okay.
Look. See where you went there. Okay. I mean, listen, we could start with one that's undeniable that's going to make everybody's list. Well, I don't know about that, but it's going to make a lot of people's list.
Okay.
Okay. Which is A Song for You by Donny Hathaway.
Ooh. A Song for You. Donny Hathaway. And that was 1975? Oh, is that 1975?
1971.
1971. Okay. Ooh, 1971. Okay. Oh, dang it. I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen, bro. Because I have a song from that same era by a similar artist. And it's going to sound like we colluded. So I'm going to type it. You know what? I'm not going to put it up there.
What?
I'm not going to put it up there because I don't want to remove it from the list. Right. Here is one that I absolutely think is on the list. And as soon as you see it, you're like, that doesn't belong on the list. Belle Biv DeVoe. 1990. Right. And I know you're gonna be like, man, come on. That song, yeah. I would argue that Poison has the greatest intro of any R&B song ever. Right? I would argue that as soon as you hear dun 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 dun, and you hear Coogee Rap busting poison. When you hear that, you're like, I know I just spent $8 on a drink, but I gotta get out here on the dance floor. And for those that think is hip hop, right? Right. In the song, they tell you right off the rip is hip hop smoothed out on an R&B tip with a pop feel appeal to it. So it's hip hop, but it's also smoothed out on an R&B tip. So for anybody that think it's mainly hip hop, they explain it with that.
That's a cheat code, by the way. That's a cheat code.
Right. I mean, we gotta have smart conversations, bro. You know what I'm saying? We gotta have smart conversations, right? We gotta have educated conversations. So, all right. So, do you have another that you want to add?
I mean, for me, yeah. My Heart Belongs to You by Jodeci.
Oh, one of the greatest R&B songs of all time. He went to my favorite R&B group of all time. My Heart Belongs to. That's 1993, right? 1993, I
think. Maybe. That sounds about right. 93 or 94. Maybe you're right. Oh. No. That's somebody else. I didn't know that same song name. Did you know there was a My Heart Belongs to You by Peebo Bryson? Who knew?
Yes.
I didn't know that. I don't know.
Yep.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. And Peebo is very close to being on this list too, by the way.
Good call on that one. 1993. You got it.
Bim. This list is gonna be crazy.
Yo, it already is.
Hey, Triborough Gigolo. Hey, Julian Blum. Hey, whoever watching, if y'all want to have y'all voice be heard, get ready. I'm about to put the link in the chat. Don't tell me you busy on a Friday night. I know y'all don't have lives like that when it comes to R&B. When it comes to R&B, stop what you're doing because I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to, right? I'm doing that right now, right?
As soon as he said Belle Biv DeVoe, I knew it was done.
Bro, Can I tell you the song that I removed from my list as soon as you said a song for you?
Which one is that?
Killing Me Softly, Roberta Flack.
Ooh.
Soon as you said, because that was my song. As soon as you said, I was like, now I can't. You know what I'm saying? Because it'll make it too early 70s ish. Killing Me Softly is a bro. Killing Me Softly, bro. When you just listen to the lyrics, I heard he had a good something. I heard he had a style, something, and listen for a while, bro. You like, holy crap. Yo, come on, bro. And the Fuji's version, fire.
I can't argue with you on that one.
R&B, right? It's tough. We're at song number 7. Do you have another?
Ooh. Man, I don't want to go too crazy. I'm trying to go. I'm thinking a little older but getting more current as I go, in my mind. Stevie Wonder. Ooh. It's from the 80s though. Ribbon in the Sky.
Oh no, you didn't.
Yeah.
Ribbon in the Sky, that's
1982.
That's 1982?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, you know you famous when you go by one name. I tried to type Stevie Wonder and it just was like, nah, man, just put Stevie. Wow. Yo, if you love R&B, and you heard Ron say that just now, bro, I legit been watching the intro video to that all week. No lie. Coincidence. At the beginning of that video, Stevie Wonder is talking to Intro about how he wasn't gonna let them do his song until he found out that my man was from Detroit, and then he was like, nah, he got to do it.
It's not too many songs where you hear different versions sung by different artists, and both versions are just as good. Like I can't find a fault with either of those versions. Stevie's was incredible, and Intro's was incredible. So, and I say that because, like I said, there really isn't too many songs where you hear that. Once in a blue, you will hear something like that, you know. But even if we're being real, I just left my head. It's not going to be on this list, so I can bring it up.
Okay.
The song by the Jacksons, All I Do Is Think of You. Even though their version is not bad, it ain't true.
It's not true, bro.
It's not true.
It is not, bruh. Yo, another song that I don't know will make the list, but Dolly Parton and Whitney Houston.
Yes.
Hey, no disrespect to Dolly Parton, but I try to listen to the Dolly Parton version, and I'm like, nah.
It can't. It just can't. Can't.
Aretha Franklin and Luther Vandross. Superstar, Until You Come Back to Me. Until You Come Back to Me. People, Aretha Franklin did it. Mickey Howard did it. Luther Vandross did it. And Luther Vandross did it.
Yeah. It's like Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Ooh.
Who was the original that did it again? I'm blanking.
Judy Garland.
Then you had what? Joe Cocker.
I think, was it Joe Cocker? I'm not for sure.
I think Joe Cocker did. Oh, no, maybe another artist did it, and Joe Cocker did it, and then Patti LaBelle. I mean, I can't see nobody else doing it other than Patti LaBelle.
Nobody else, bro. Patti did it. I don't even want to hear anybody else, bro. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to everybody else, but yeah.
It's like that sometimes.
It's like that, and that's the way it is.
Yeah. I see. Freezie's full of music, man.
Yeah.
Music puns all day.
All day.
What you got? What you got, big guy? What you got?
So I have a song that I don't want to add, but I have to add it because the conversation would be a fake conversation if we didn't add it. Waterfalls by TLC. I'm not a huge fan of the song, but the song took no lie. I remember being in a Boys to Men era, and then Waterfalls came out, and I knew from that point forward I could no longer listen to Boys to Men after I heard Waterfalls. Right? Don't go chasing waterfalls. Stick to the rivers and the streams that you used to. And then the video that had all the messaging in it, I was like, you know what? Yeah. Yeah, and no disrespect to Boys to Men, but everybody has a era. Right? Like you remember the group Poison, Every Rose Has Its Thorns?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Every rose has its thorns. Right? Everybody remember that song. Everybody liked that song. The big buff rock singer with the big hair, with the dangling earring. That was a style, right? That was a style.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you heard "Smells Like Teen Spirit" by Nirvana, everything. And then it was like having a BC date, right? You were anything before "Smells Like Teen Spirit" was like anything before "Smells Like Teen Spirit" had a BC date. Anything afterwards had an AD date, right? That's just what it's like. Because when you heard the drums on "Smells Like," you were like, White Snake, Metallica, Poison, Guns N' Roses, all these groups, bro. Anybody before that, just turn your resignation in. It is now the Nirvana and Red Hot Chili Peppers era.
That was one of the best songs ever. One of the best songs ever.
Ever, bro.
We used to play that on Guitar Hero, man, and that made me appreciate that song even more. I was like, this song is great.
That's on fire, bro. That joint is fire, bro.
It is.
But all the groups that were trying to make comebacks like REM, all the groups like REM and all those groups that were trying to make like the comeback or whatever. Soon as they heard "Smells Like Teen Spirit," they just threw all their stuff in the trash. They're like, oh fuck, god damn it! How are we gonna compete with that? You know, it's like no lie, it's just like all the old school rappers, right? When the old school rappers heard what's the song? When they heard my man say "Thinking of a Master Plan," it ain't nothing but sweat inside my hand. As soon as they heard that, it was like, God dog it. Are we finished? Did we get retired, or did they retire us? That's what happened to Melly Mel and all those others. But okay, so we're at song number 5. Do you have a song number 5 to add?
Well, okay, so this is my list, y'all. Shout out to Julian Blum. What's good, brother? My list. All right. This may not be everybody's favorite song. But Freezie actually already said it. But to me, I don't know. It's like something about that song. It's I can't escape it. You know what I mean? It has such a groove, a rhythm, the silky sounds of the man's voice when he's singing it. It just, I don't know how you can have a fault with it. So to me, it's like one of the greatest R&B songs ever. Never Too Much, Luther Vandross. Oh, let's see. Julian was thinking Luther. He was thinking Here and Now. And Here and Now could be on somebody's list. Ain't gonna lie, that's a really good song, and that's the wedding song for a lot of people.
Never Too Much is 1983, right? Is it 1983?
Let's see how good Freezie is. Freezie be in his year bag. His memory is crazy. He's like an elephant, man.
I don't know why, bro. A mind full of weird facts.
Never Too Much is 1981.
Oh, 81. Okay. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Here and Now is a really good song, though. That's a good one, Julian Blunt. It's a really good song.
Yeah, that's a really, really good song. Luther, though, has so many great songs. Right. But here's the thing. Every time I do a list, right? Every time I do a list, I want to add Sarah Smile by Hall & Oates, but I can't. I can't. Because Sarah Smile has officially been categorized as blue-eyed soul. So you can't be blue-eyed soul and R&B at the same time unless you make the disclaimer. Right? Make the disclaimer. It's like LL Cool J had a song called Pink Cookies in a Plastic Bag Getting Crushed by Buildings. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? When you look at the title of the song, yo, you like, yo, that shit whack. I don't even understand what LL talking. What is he Pink Cookie? What is this? Sesame Street? But LL clarified in the very beginning of the song. He was like, yo, I know y'all gonna think this is whack. I know y'all gonna think this is whack, right? I know y'all gonna think this is whack, but I'm gonna say this at the beginning of the song. The art of making love is pink cookies in a plastic bag getting crushed by buildings. So he says that in the very beginning of the song. He told you what the song was. So there was like the disclaimer, right? Mm-hmm. So there's that part of it.
Okay.
And Sarah Smile is, I don't think you can be on, when it comes to a top 10, I don't think you can be on multiple lists, right? Like what song moves your body like It Takes Two by Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock, right? That has been categorized as a dance song and a rap song at the same time, right? So if it's on the dance side, It Takes Two to Make a Thing Go Right. If it's that, right, then can it be on the top 10 rap list? I don't think so. Right. And I know it doesn't sound fair. It don't sound fair, but if you just take the premise that a great song can be on any list, then you won't really have lists anymore. In my mind. There's only one list, top 10 greatest songs of all time. And then it won't be fair because whoever song number 11 is, you can be like, but it's song number 11. I know, I understand. So what about song number 4? Do you have a song number 4?
I do.
Okay.
Once again, guys, this is in no particular order necessarily. So this is probably one of Freezie's picks. So, but it's my pick too. Can You Stand the Rain?
Wow.
$1988.
So why is New Edition on the list? Why did you add them? Why is this song on the list?
Because this is one of the best songs ever made by any artist. Just so happened it came from New Edition.
Okay.
It's your favorite singer's favorite song.
So my beef with Can You Stand the Rain is that it didn't sell as well as you would think it should have sold. Right? My beef with it is it's a great song, y'all. Listen, it's a great song, right? I love this song. It's probably a top 200 Uncle Freezie song of all time. Right? Now, mind you, when I say top 200, don't judge me because I love thousands of songs, maybe millions of songs, right? So to cut your favorite list to say a top, if you made my top 200, you made it, right? You made it, right? I'm putting Can You Stand the Rain up there with Smells Like Teen Spirit for me on my top 200 list, right? So I'm not saying it's a bad song. I'm saying it should have sold more. Right? It doesn't make sense that Boys to Men over their career outsold New Edition, is what I'm getting at. You know.
Well, I mean, so, but that's the thing. It depends on how you classify it. If you classify it that way, then technically some of these songs that are on the list now shouldn't be on the list. Because a song for you is a great song. It didn't sell well, like when you in comparison to other music that was out around that time. My Heart Belongs to You is one of the best songs ever by Jodeci, but it didn't necessarily sell well compared to other songs that were out there at that time. So it's tough. Like Never Too Much did really well. Waterfalls did incredibly well. Ribbon in the Sky was good. Poison, forget about it. So it depends on how you look at the list.
Well, respectfully, I took two things into account. Right? For one, this is Ron's list, right? For one.
Well, yeah, okay.
And two, I reserved all of that for songs that were in the top 5 or higher.
I got you.
Right.
Okay.
So when we get when you get in the top 5 part, and you have End of the Road and Untitled that didn't make it, those songs sold like monsters. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was like, yo, just chill. It's not Uncle Freezie's list. It's a Ron and Uncle Freezie collaboration list.
I got you. Okay.
And you know what I'm saying? So because when you said End of the Road, I was like, dang, bro, that song is still selling.
I mean, really, if that was the case, that should definitely be on this list. It's just not like I like 50 Candles more than I like End of the Road.
Oh, so, how you like Trying Times?
I like Trying Times more than I like End of the Road. So,
bro,
I love, you know what I mean? Like, so as well, it had all the commercial success. Everybody loves the song, but my pick would be a couple other songs higher than those, that one, for example.
Can I eliminate some freestyle songs? Can I eliminate some freestyle songs just real quick?
Okay.
Just, so I want to eliminate some freestyle songs that could have bled into the list. Right? Curious. I'm curious about your loving. I'm curious. Back to life. Back to life, back to reality. Keep on moving. Don't stop. No. I can't wait. My new shoes. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Wait a while, child. Is this the part you take my heart to wipe your feet on? You know what I'm saying? Loose ends. That's in that freestyle realm. That's not really R&B. Probably should be when we ever do a British invasion list, maybe they'll be on or a European invasion, not just British, but a European invasion list. Then we could probably do that. What else? Loose ends, Time Social Club. Black Box, 5 Star. All of those are like freestyle to me. And that Madonna, Lisa and Cult Jam. Lane. I have one that I want to eliminate too. I'm gonna put it over here because it confuses me to where it should be on any list.
Ain't my type of hype.
Yeah, Full Force. Bro, every time I hear "Ain't My Type of Hype," I'm immediately put in a mindset where these guys, man, that song, is it R&B? Is it hip hop? It has the hip hop trappings of it, kind of like a Poison. As soon as yeah.
I would say that falls into the hip hop, smooth it out on the R&B tip with a pop appeal to it, whatever. I would say that kind of falls into that, right?
Right.
Yeah, I would think so.
So your top 3 is going to be tough. Once you name these 3 songs, a million R&B songs are going to be left off the list.
I'm okay with it.
Okay, so what's your number 3 song?
Cherish by Kool and the Gang.
Oh, Cherish. Jersey City makes the list.
Mm-hmm. That the way that song starts, the melodic tone of the lead singer, which I always forget his name. Was it Taylor? Rob Taylor? What is his name? Damn it.
That dude is a jerk. But tell me, James Taylor.
I know.
Yep,
I heard about him. I heard about him. I know.
Tell my park his cup. Man, I slept. I'm 12 years old, bro. I'm 12 years old.
I heard about him.
Yeah, he's a jerk.
But that song is just it. Like, I don't care where I'm at. If that song comes on, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm listening to it. I may have to do some work. I may have an assignment that's due. I'll take another 4 minutes to listen to the song before I get back to it.
Yep.
That song is just beautiful. Well done. Well done.
All right. So let me add this song. I'm going to add song number 2 so you can have song number 1 to yourself. Right. What is the name of the song? Damn it. Damn, what's the name of the song? I know the name of the song and it escaped me as soon as I thought about it. I'm gonna have to. Damn, what the hell is the name of the song? What's the name of the song?
Male, female?
I don't want to give it away because I want to argue. I want to argue with you on number 1. I want to argue with you about number 1.
You ain't gonna be able to. I saved it.
Oh, okay. I promise you, bro. Oh, what is the name of this? Oh, I'm such an idiot. This is the name of the song.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, man. I could not believe Confessions was in my mind and I didn't want to say Confessions. I think as soon as you hear Peach Up, A-Town Down, everybody just throwing each. Bro, I saw a girl just as soon as she's heard Peach Up, A-Town Down, she took her drink and just threw it on the floor and went straight to the. I was like, chick, the table was right here. She didn't even care. In 2004, when you heard Peach Up, A-Town Down, bro, dance floors were in Triborough, legit dance floors were in the emergency room all night because they were being abused. Because when Yeah came on, you had to legit send the dance floor itself, the brick and mortar, to the emergency room, bro. I saw a DJ play that song for 10 straight minutes.
I believe it.
Peach Up, A-Town Down. It didn't matter where you was at, bro. When you hear it, bro, I was working with a lady in HR, right? Stuffy lady. She was a little cutie, right? She was a little bit older than us. She was a cutie pie at work. She worked in HR. So she didn't really, you know what I'm saying, in order to, you know what I'm saying, to work workplace balance stuff. We go. I see her in this club, and she see me, and she like, oh man, that's him. Whatever. She start to walk over towards me, right? You know what I'm saying? So we could just like, hey man, how you doing? Blah blah blah. Peach up, A-Town down. She started putting her hair in that damn ponytail, bro. And I ain't seen that chick till Monday, bro. I ain't see her ass until Monday, bro. Yeah, man. Yeah. So who you got at number one so we can argue?
I feel bad because I feel like I left somebody off the list that should be on the list.
Yeah.
Oh, number one is Whitney Houston, Greatest Love of All. And some might say that this one is a little tricky because Whitney Houston is kind of known as a pseudo pop artist, right? But
to me, she pop. Yeah.
I hear it. But to me, Greatest Love of All is an R&B song. Okay. In particular. And the live version of that song is the best rendition of any song I've heard of anybody on this list. No one has sung a song to me live better than that rendition of that song. So that's why, and it also, the acclaim and the money. Yeah, it definitely made the money.
So I'm gonna take about 60 seconds and do this. So just do a little snippet, right? So the top 10 greatest R&B songs of all time, according to Keeping It Ron and Uncle Freezie, are 10, A Song for You by Donny Hathaway, 1971. 9, Poison by Belle Biv DeVoe, 1990. 8, My Heart Belongs to You, Jodeci, 1993. 7, Ribbon in the Sky, Stevie Wonder, 1982. Waterfalls, TLC, 1995. Never Too Much, Luther Vandross, 1981. Can You Stand the Rain, New Edition, 1988. Cherish, Kool and the Gang, 1981. Yeah, Usher, 2004. Greatest Love of All, Whitney Houston, 1986. What is your favorite R&B song of all time? And do you agree with the list headed by Ron from Keeping It Ron and Uncle Freezie from Vibes and Stuff? All right, everybody, I threw the link in the chat. Now it's time to get down to the get down. Right, Ron, is there a significant song that you left off and you felt like, you know what, maybe we should have added it?
Well, for me personally, from my list, yeah, I did leave off one of my favorite songs ever, which is Love Takes Time by Mariah Carey.
Ooh. Right.
Yeah, I left that one off. Yeah.
So one of the songs that I think I felt like we left off is a song called Candy by Cameo. Just like candy, I can see it in a walk. Something ain't over me. So Candy, for those that love innuendo songs, Candy is not about a woman. Candy is about drugs. For those that didn't know.
Yep.
Candy is about drugs, everybody. Right.
Shout out to Luke Skywalker Visions. Yeah. That's surprising that he's not on this list. You're right. But it plays into what Uncle Freezie was saying. And I get it wholeheartedly. When he says certain things, I have to, I got to look back at it and see, well, where is he going? What does he mean by that? And it makes total sense when he says a certain song is in his top 200. There is so much music that you can choose from and pick to be on your top 10 list. I mean, I left a lot of songs off of this list. There's tons of them.
Yeah. Yeah. We left a lot of Tri-Borough Gigolo in the building. Salute. The thesaurus is
What's
in
up,
the
Joe?
building. Nobody knows more about music than the Tri-Borough Gigolo. Salute, sir.
Thanks. What's up? How y'all doing?
Man, we good, man.
Cool.
Me and Ron and I had been talking about doing a joint, man, for a while, just getting up and just parsing participles, splitting hairs about music. So we, man, kind of wanted to get a little bit out of the way before we bombarded you and DSJ with questions, because you know the bombardment is coming, bro. Just prepare. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know.
So when you think about R&B, so what is your R&B experience like? Where does R&B start for you?
Way back to like New Edition. You know, when they first came out with the Candy Girl album, and even before then, like when my mom was playing like Gladys Knight and the Pips and Aretha Franklin, Luther, all that. So as a kid, just hearing that around the house, that was like I grew up with that, you know, that version of R&B compared to what it is now. Like I was saying in the chat earlier, I don't feel like it's there's no passion with a lot of these newer artists of today. You know, today's R&B. It's not. It's no feeling to it. It's just they put out a record, and if it happens to catch, you know, play on you know Instagram or TikTok, people roll with it. But R&B back in the day was like you have to like really feel the record before the album even came out. You know what I'm saying? And there's very few artists now in this genre that you know of today that I like. Like I love Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. They're not necessarily strictly R&B. They're more like it's R&B with pop. You know, the Weeknd. I love the Weeknd stuff, but he's more like a pop artist. You know, Adele. I love Adele. I think she's not. I want to say she's underrated for the Black community because she's looked at as a pop artist, but she can do R&B, but she's not really given that respect when it comes to our people. You know what I'm saying? But there's it's very few artists that I check for now of today. But back in the day, it was Stevie Wonder, Luther. It was Sade. Even George Michael when he went solo from Wham. So that's the R&B for me that I grew up on.
Agreed. I think that makes a lot of sense because I feel the same way. Like I grew up on the same type of stuff. That's the same stuff that we listen to, and like
right.
So I wonder, the Freezie mentioned it before when it came to Hall and Oates. I wonder if George Michael, I mean, he was primarily pop, but then he got into a very soulful bag, and I wonder if he would be considered blue-eyed soul as well. Probably.
Oh yeah, because I mean, when we did the Blue Eyed Soul episode, he was on my list because when I'm thinking Blue Eyed Soul, I'm thinking George Michael. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking Bobby Caldwell. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking,
you
Lisa Stansfield. So
you thinking Lil Feat, some Lil Feat in there, some Blue Eyed Soul. You think how does Creedence Clearwater Revival fit in there? Is that Southern rock, or is that like Blue Eyed Soul to you?
That's like Southern rock, country rock, and then Blue Eyed Soul.
See, because the thing is about Creedence Clearwater Revival is it sounds like Southern rock, but those dudes are from San Francisco. Those dudes in that Oakland Stroke era and area, right? Like when you hear Fortunate Son and songs like that, right? It puts you in that feeling of Joe Cocker, who we also may at times put in that category of Blue Eyed Soul. Him and Michael McDonald. When you hear yes, ma'am. When you hear those three singers, right? I forget his name from Creedence Clearwater Revival, but him, the dude from CCR. Thank you. You trying to get me tipsy? Yeah. Cheers, everybody. I might have. Am I gonna have to take a Plan B in the morning? Yeah, no, just let me mess around. I'm messing around. Everybody, I'm messing around, everybody. But yeah, when you talk about Michael McDonald and Joe Cocker and my man from Creedence Clearwater, the voice have the same texture. It's like that Teddy Pendergrass texture, where it's kind of like rich, like it kind of scratchy a little bit, not not deep like Barry White or Lou Rawls, but in that certain texture to it. That's why I was thinking, like, does CCR slide in there if we bend the rules a little bit for if we bend the rules a little bit for one, do we bend the rules for everybody? Is basically what I'm getting at.
Mm. Mm. I don't know. It's tough, but it kind of go well. So if these people, for example, are Blue Eyed Soul, what is Bruno Mars?
Bruno Mars is the same as Hall & Notes and Toto, in my opinion.
Toto.
It's the same as Ambrosia.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? To me, now maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my ears are hearing things that are not really present. But I think Bruno Mars is in that Hall & Notes, Robin Thicke, kind of John B. a little bit category, kind of. Bobby Caldwell is in, to me, Bobby Caldwell is in a different. Bobby Caldwell, to me, every time I saw him, he moved and acted like a brother. Right? He had an album called The Cat in the Hat. People think it was because of the cat in the hat. Nah, he was calling himself a cat with a hat on. You know what I'm saying? You see how the wordplay go? Like Bobby Caldwell to me was more like a brother, like than some of the brothers we meet. And Bobby Caldwell was like, to me, that dude, right? To me, right? But the thing is, try with a top 10 list, bro. When you do a top 10 list, you already know this because I think you and I did one together also. Like when you do a top 10 list, bro, it's a million songs that's gonna be left off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I say the list is gonna be hard because I mean there's a million songs come to my head already that should be on the list and they're gonna be left off. So
right. Jay Call's in the building. Salute. Is there any? Do you have 3 or 4 songs you felt like should have made it?
I got one artist from Jersey, Faith Evans. Soon as I get home. I think that was a classic ballad. Might be the best ballad on her first album, to me, in my opinion.
I think so.
Like her first album was a classic. I love that first album. Whitney Houston, I had a hard time deciding Whitney song because she has so many great ballads. Greatest Love of All was one of my favorites. Even the Shoop song from the soundtrack, Waiting to Exhale.
Right.
Didn't We Almost Have It All? It was another great one from her. It was so many. So I couldn't just choose one from Whitney. Donnell Jones, Where I Want to Be. That was like one of my favorites.
I like that song, and that's off the first Donnell album, right?
Second one. It's on the second.
The second one. Second one.
Yeah.
I think the most slept on Donnell Jones song ever, right? And it may be my favorite song ever. It goes from like 1 to like 350 in my top songs of all time. It's a Donnell Jones song called Wish You Were Here. It's got all the elements, the background singing, the complimentary chick in the background. You could tell the chick that was in there doing vocals is like right off his shoulder. Right? Yeah. Like right in the booth. Like her entrances into homework assignment. If you have never heard these 2 songs, go listen to them right now. Right now. Making Love in the Rain by Herb Alpert with Lisa Keith and Janet Jackson, and Wish You Were Here by Donnell Jones. Right? The song, both of these songs are superbly produced with just enough seasoning where it gives you it'll the songs will drown. Ron, you remember how you said you can listen to a song back to back?
Mm-hmm.
Wish You Were Here is one of those songs. Bro, I used to lift weights to that song, bro. I used to be on the bench press, right? Listening to Donnell Jones, Wish You Were Here. Dudes would be walking up to me, hey, bro, you finished with the bench? And I'd be having Donnell Jones in my ear, Wish You Were Here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yeah, I have like, no lie, I have like 305 on the bench about to do 6 reps, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. And do, hey, bro, you been on that bench? And I'll have Making Love in the Rain by Herb Alpert playing in my ear. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
And shout out to one of the most slept on, underappreciated albums ever. That Donnell Jones' first album is slept on and underappreciated.
Dynamite, bro.
There is a run of songs in that album that, and let me just say, I don't remember how many songs were on that album, but that song was chock full of a lot of songs.
Like 11 songs, right?
I feel like it was more than that, Freezie. All I know is you can go on a run, man, like a hot streak, and just keep listening, and it's just vibing. People make a lot of they make a huge deal about the second album, which was great in its own right, but that first album was slept on.
Yeah. Right. Hey, wait a minute. I'm confused. Okay, so I made a mistake, and I'm sorry, y'all, if I made a huge boo boo. Wish You Were Here was not on the first album. Wish You Were Here. The first album came out in '94, right? Donnell Jones, '94. Was that about right? Him and Left Eye had a song together.
That was like
the song with Left Eye was on the second album.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there was a time I remember buying Alfonso Hunter, Donnell Jones, and Horace Brown at the same time, Wayne Wonder around the same time. Y'all remember that time frame?
No, and you were right.
That was like 95.
Wish You Were Here was on the first album.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And that is the album that I'm talking about, and that was 1996.
Okay.
And it had 15 tracks.
Okay, wow.
Like I said, it was crazy because you could go listen to that, and at one point it goes on a run, and you're like, damn, no interruptions. I Want You to Know, Yearning. Oh, Yearning was a banger.
Yearning was my God.
Yeah, I mean, man. There's just so much on there, man. So much. Even the Stevie Wonder cover of Knocks Me Off My Feet was dope. Yeah.
That's why I bought the album. No lie. I walked into a music store called Sounds Familiar. And I don't know if they had that up top, but there was a record store down here called Sounds Familiar, right? And when you walk in, they would have the featured artists in the cutout posters. You know how they have them in the cutout posters or whatever? Mm-hmm. And then they'll have like albums in a cage, and you'll look. And when I walked in, I heard the intro. That's the part. In summer day, relaxing in my head. And I'm like, yo, who was that? And he was like, bro, you don't know who that is? I'm like, bro, who was that? He's like, yo, you telling me you don't know who that? Dog, come on, bro. Right? He's like, yo, you don't know who that is? Where you been, son? Bro, come on, bro. I gotta pee. Why you holding me up? He's like, yo, you don't know who that is? And I'm like, bro, my food getting cold, bro. I just came from the food court. Right? He was like, yo, man, I don't know, bro. You a square, bro, if you don't know who that is. And I'm like, what? And so I walk in the back, and it's a line by Donnell Jones, Horace Brown, Alfonso Hunter, Yvette Michelle. Y'all remember Yvette Michelle?
Mm-hmm.
Yvette Michelle, Miss Jones. It was like a bunch of whack ass. No disrespect. It was a bunch of whack ass. And I messed around and I picked Donnell Jones. Right, bro. No lie, it's crazy. I picked 2 albums. I think I got 2 home runs and 2 flops. I bought. Yeah, remember the movie Set It Off?
Mm-hmm.
The Set It Off soundtrack. Any of y'all like the Set It Off soundtrack?
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah, I think I might have got the Set It Off soundtrack and Donnell Jones, and then I bought Alfonso Hunter and Puff Johnson. And something was like, yo, don't buy this Alfonso Hunter joint. Why are you buying Puff Johnson? They say she's supposed to be the next Janet, right? More like Freddie. More like Freddie Jackson. Right. Try, you ever heard the Puff Johnson album?
I never heard it. Never heard that album. I remember the Alfonso Hunter album because he was signed to Def Squad. That was Eric Sermon.
Yeah,
Eric Sermon produced that album.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't remember.
I'm gonna just leave it right there because I don't want to be too negative. I'm gonna just leave it right there.
I don't know if I remember Puff Johnson.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She was like a backup singer. Like she did like a lot of background vocals on other people's albums.
You was adventurous, Freezie.
You know what? It wasn't Alfonso Hunter I bought. It wasn't. I keep telling the story wrong all the time, and I always correct myself. It wasn't Alfonso Hunter, and because I didn't buy Wayne Wonder, Alfonso Brown, or Alfonso Hunter, or whatever the dude's name is. It was trash. But anyway, I bought the girl that had the remix on Bad Boy. Remember the Bad Boy remix with the locks?
Gina Thompson.
The things you do. I think that was the banger at the time. The things you do makes me.
DSJ, what up?
DSJ is in the building. Salute.
I'm back in the chat like Retro Jordan.
Oh, DSJ is on the loose.
So DSJ, I just want to do before you jump in and tear our heads off. I just want to mention that 2 artists didn't make the top 10 list, and I'm really ashamed, but I'm gonna stand my ground, right?
Okay.
2. Okay. So for one, Tevin Campbell should have been on this list. Tevin Campbell had a song that came out in 1993. Can We Talk? That should have been on the list, right? And R. Kelly should have been on this list at least 3 times. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
If I
but then it would have been the best of R. Kelly we doing then.
Well,
because I think certain artists kind of have their own. Yeah, I think certain artists have their own category by themselves. Like they can carry a whole best of category simply by themselves.
did you say Black of the Berry wasn't a bad album?
It wasn't a
wasn't.
bad album. It
I
wasn't
thought
a good album. It just wasn't bad.
It wasn't promoted.
Black of the Berry. What was that, Mister?
That's Alfonso Hunter.
Oh, my bad. I'm not big on the Alfonso Hunter. You got me on that one.
Like his singles are good.
DSJ, I have it right here, bro. I have it right here in a drawer without a case. That lets you know how good the album was.
Freezie, you is adventurous. You was in your R&B bag, B. Like, yeah, I'm a support. I'm like,
but my thing is, all right. So Alfonso Hunter's album, first off, Players Play was a good leading single, right? Debut single, it was fine. His second single, Weekend Thing, was a good song.
It was alright.
You know, it was like
it was a nice, safe song.
It was a vibe, right? Songs like "Would You Be Mine" should have been a single. Black of the Berry, the titular song on the album, it was all right. Like the song, like the album, like I can't say it was. Like I said, I can't say it was good, but I can't say it was bad either. Like I can see some positives in it overall.
DSJ coming in here trying to be Captain Save a R&B singer.
Well, if not me, who?
Bro, try. Let me ask you this: if you're an R&B singer, right, in 1996, It's 1996, right? Think about the bangers that are coming across your radio, right? And then you're gonna come in for a soft landing because you want to stay on this level. Now think about 1996, right? Think about 1996 when you're listening to Touch Me Tease Me. When Touch Me Tease Me come on the radio, bro. When you hear Bill Withers part when you hear stuff like that coming, when you hear No Diggity coming on the radio and you coming out with Weekend Thing, bro, you asking yourself to be forgotten about, bro.
Well, the record label didn't promote the album. And that was like across the board. We saw that with hip hop. We saw that with R&B. I do agree with Delano that it was a good R&B album, but it wasn't promoted enough. And especially when you got the backing of Eric Sermon, they should have been promoting that more.
Can I throw out a fact? Just a fact. Do y'all know EPMD never went platinum?
Right.
All their artists ate, bro. All of them ate. Especially the most underrated rapper of all time, K Solo. Right? He ate, right? That first album, bro, that first K Solo album had bangers on it. But if you're talking about Def Squad, though, if they didn't leave immediately and go to like a Def Jam or something, they were gonna be Keith Murray or K Solo or Das Effects or something like that, man. And I hate it for them. I hate it for them because they produce great music, right? And Eric Sermon on his own could produce great music. But with EPMD pushing you, bro, you like, I know I'm gonna have, bro. They had Craig Mack carrying speakers for them, bro. The greatest rapper to ever come out of that collective was carrying speakers for them.
So you saying they messed
was
up?
Better than Redman, though? I think Redman was better than Craig Mack.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
Yeah, lyrically better albums, good producer too.
Yeah, Are you saying that they should have named one of their albums "Business Never Platinum"? Is that what you're saying?
Right, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, but Redman couldn't pull off the do the blow like Craig Mack could. So there's that.
I don't know if I can deal with the Friday Night Tri-Barrel, bro. The Friday Night Tri-Barrel is an instigator, bro. What the hell's going on, bro? I mean, maybe.
Craig Mack had one great album. Let's be real about that. He had one great album.
Yeah.
And also, Freezie, don't feel bad, man. I mean, you and this Alfonso Ribeira or whatever, Carlton, whatever you bought, what album? I don't know what you got, but I've been there. I did go out there and I purchased Uncle Sam. I've done it too. I've done it too. Just wanted to, you're not alone. Michael Jackson, you're not alone.
Well, here's my shame. I bought the Mark Morrison album.
Oh man, Return of the Mac. Ooh.
Cry for me like Jodeci, please.
Yeah.
I was in a club. Listen, y'all, when I say I was in a club, bro, I wasn't a party. Maybe I was. Anyway, the point that I'm getting at is I heard the song and in the club, and it reminded me of a song that I had already heard and fell in love with, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. Right? It's like when you hear the song Something New by Wiz Khalifa. When you hear Something New by Wiz Khalifa, you're like, yo, this joint is fine. It sounds like something I heard before though, but I can't quite put my finger on what it is. Right? When I heard Return of the Mac, and I heard that man crying over the beat, you broke my heart, and now I'm not gonna take you back. I'm back. My heart done healed, and now I'm gonna go out here and get all the girls just to prove to you that what I'm saying. And I'm like, what is he saying? Are you saying
that is?
Yeah. Are you crying? Are you crying on a disco track? This album can't be good, bro. When I heard that, I was like, the song, bro, the song itself is fire. Right? The song itself is fire. I put that song and Jimmy Cozier in the same boat. Right? Y'all, anybody remember Jimmy Cozier?
Of course. Sometimes I love her. Sometimes I
I love
whatever.
or not.
You know.
Yeah.
And the label didn't love him at all.
That man said, sometimes I love her, sometimes I love her not, but I'm not letting her go. Okay. But when I heard the Return of the Mac, though, there was a song, and I didn't find out. Try this. This is how I'll tell you. This is to a point that you made about an hour ago, and I wanted to kind of talk to that point with you, if you don't mind. I didn't find out till last month that Return of the Mac sampled the song "Games" by Chucky Booker. Why you wanna play your games on me? And I was like, I didn't. When I found it, I was like, it's been 20 years, almost 30 years, and I was trying to figure out why I like that song. It wasn't because of the lyrics or because this dude could sing. It was because the song sampled a song that I had already fell in love with, and I was hearing it, and I was still in love with the song, or the reasons why I fell in love with Games by Chucky Booker was being used. The elements of it was being used in Return of the Mac. But I wanted to say this thing. I wanted to say something to the point that you made about the disconnect in R&B. And the reason why I think it is because with original music, you put your heart and soul into original music, right? Like all the original songs, you legit, back in the day, it might have took you 6 weeks to get the bones of a song right? Now, you can go sample sounds any way you want and throw sounds together, and before you know it, you have a hit because you built it off the back of an existing song. Right? So now we don't love these songs as long as we used to, or sometimes at all, because why should we Coi Leray? Why would we listen? Why are we gonna stay in love with a Coi Leray song?
Yeah.
That hit was already a song. That song was already a hit 3 times before she sampled it.
It's fair.
Am I just on an island by myself? What you thinking on that?
Well, I mean, I do feel like if you look at a lot of the 90s, hip hop soul stuff, they were sampling hit records before, and they just made it another, a hit again. It's, I mean, if they're doing it now in this era, it could be done. But I feel like a lot of the artists that are so-called singers can't really sing. That's like a major problem. Like especially if they're using, AI technology, or they're using, auto tunes, that's not really singing for me.
So you don't even have to be good now.
Well, I'm saying if we all grew up on real singers, I feel like the generation now is more lazy. It's more laziness. And it's not really about the actual singing. There's no passion in the singing. It's more about, putting something on streaming and getting, numbers on TikTok. But where's the real passion for the singing? Like if you're not drawing me in with your single, I don't even want to hear the album. You know what I'm saying? Like what are you gonna have to put out there that's gonna draw the listeners in to hear a full project from you? Whether it's like, a lot of the projects now are like shorter projects, like 7 to 9 songs. If you put out a full album, I have to be able to be drawn in with your single. And if you're not drawing me in with your singles, like I don't even want to hear the other 9 songs that you're putting out. You know what I'm saying? But it's like when you had like SWV, when they come out with, Right Here, when they coming out with Weak, you wanted to hear the album. Jodeci, when they came out with Stay and Forever My Lady, Come and Talk to Me, you want to hear that whole album. I think I'm not hearing that in R&B in today's era.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But they can still sample, like Coily Ray can sample, like she did the song with Busta Rhymes where they took the, Ain't No Nigga beat or whatever. That's been done already. And I don't feel like she and Busta did a better job than what Jay-Z and Foxy Brown did in 96. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they can still take the sample that was used from back in the day, and maybe you bring in like the younger audience, but it's not gonna be better than what was done, decades ago.
Okay.
I see your point. I think I kind of see where Tri-Barrel's going with that. I think I can agree with that. So here's the thing, right? And I didn't want to say it on my own channel because I think that music is different now, and so because it's different, people look at it differently. And I'm not okay. So bottom line here is, for example, Tim's. You guys are familiar with the artist Tim's. She makes.
The one that got eyes like Nala from The Lion King.
Yes. She makes some really. I think she makes some really good music. It's Afro beats and stuff. Right. But what sets her apart from other people is her writing. Her melodies are very R&B-ish in an Afrobeat world.
Right.
And she does certain runs that most of the singers that are entering in, to the realm with this genre of music aren't doing. So she gives off a different vibe, and because of that, people are really like, oh man, like she is phenomenal singer and all. I'm not taking anything away from her. She can sing, but she can't sing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's where I think today's listener, they don't worry about the people who can sing because nobody can sing. That's the thing. There ain't nobody who can sing.
So I think what you're telling me is Diana Ross and Beyonce killed R&B.
I don't know if that's what I said, but
that's what it sounds like to me.
I don't know if I said that.
Like. Right? Because think about when Diana Ross was out, when the Supremes were out, was Diana Ross the best singer in the Supremes?
No.
I'm asking, like, was she just a good front man? Could a company get behind Diana Ross and sell records to keep the lights on? Or for instance, give an example. The lady, so who is a better artist, Martha Wash or Diana Ross?
I think Martha Wash was a better singer.
Diana Ross is a better. No, hold on.
Diana Ross is the better artist. The question was,
who's the better artist?
Artist, right?
Yeah, the better artist is Diana Ross.
Right.
The better singer is Martha Wash.
But it's not even close. It's not even close. Right? Like one of the greatest R&B songs that I've ever heard is Special by Vesta. Right? But when Vesta was out, so was Vanessa Williams. Who was a better artist, Vanessa Williams or Vesta?
It's Vanessa Williams.
Yeah.
She definitely ain't the better singer, though.
No.
So I see what you're saying now. Now it's making sense to me, and I understand the Diana Ross thing. Who's
a better singer, Jennifer Hudson or Beyonce? They were out at the same time.
Beyonce.
Yeah, she's the better.
J Hud's the better singer.
Jennifer Hudson might be the better singer. It's hard for me to say this.
She has the same range. She has the same range as Beyonce, and she doesn't belt it, as opposed to falsettos and riffs.
Right. Like, give another example. Who was a better artist, Patrice Rushen or Jennifer Holliday? They were out at the same time.
Oh man. I mean, the better artist.
That's a toss. That's a fly ball.
I don't know about that one though. I don't even know if Patrice Rushen is a better artist than Jennifer. I mean, maybe a little bit more marketable, but
Patrice Rushen. Patrice Rushen is by far the better artist because she would take your record company budget, right? The record company budget, and do everything herself. The production, the promotion, the recruitment of artists. The thing about Patrice Rushen is if you want to make a great album economically, Patrice Rushen is your person. Because she knew all the dudes that played all the instruments because she was a jazz person first. So she knew everybody that could play, right? And she had friendships with names like that go under the radar, like James M. Toomey and Kashif, right? She could get, and I know people don't even know who James M. Toomey is, right? I get it. I get it. And people don't know who Kashif is. And I get it, right? But Patrice Rushen could either get them or get them to help her make an album on a budget. That's why when you heard her songs on the radio, they were always perfect. Always. They were perfect songs. They were always poignant to whatever the time is. Unlike another artist that came out at the time, two artists, Evelyn Champagne King and Shannon, right? There was a time where you could almost not even know which one from the other. Kind of, I mean, in a sense, I'm probably stretching it a little bit, but in a sense, you didn't know which one was Shame and which one was Let the Music Play. You're like, okay. Both of them post-disco era, kind of trying to figure it out, freestyle in the clubs, you know. And I
mean, yeah, no, I see what you're saying. I get it. And by the way, I just wanted to say, when you brought up Evelyn Champagne King, the only thing I could think about with Evelyn Champagne King, even when I was a kid, I was like, what is going on here? But I didn't even know what I was watching. Right. You guys remember when she came out, the 45, the cover of the 45 for Love Come Down?
Yeah.
I was like, what is this? Yeah. As a kid, I didn't know what that was. As an adult, I'm like, yo, they was wilding back then.
Yo, she was 17, right? She
Yeah.
was like 17.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, she might have been 20 by that time. But by that time, but Love Come Down, you know who produced Love Come Down?
I forgot. I should know it like off key, but I forgot. I actually have the album too, but
I think that's Kashif, right? Love Come Down.
It sounds like it's Kashif.
That sounds like Kashif, right? Yeah. I think the disconnect comes from like the great producers are no longer great producers of sounds, but great producers of samples. And so now you get caught immediately because people are using a formula that can't miss.
Oh, wow. Sorry, Freezie. I just looked it up. I was curious. It was written by Kashif. So that's why it sounds like
Kashif.
It
was written by Kashif. Okay.
But it was produced by Maury Brown.
Okay.
Whoever that gentleman is. I'm not too familiar with him. But continue. Man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man. Another dude, Kashif, another producer forgotten to time because I'm sorry.
No, I didn't. I just, I forget stuff. And when you go on that role of who's the better artist or whatever, I got one for you. Who's the better artist?
Okay.
Aaliyah, rest in peace, or Mona Lisa?
Aaliyah.
Yeah, I would say Aaliyah.
Aaliyah because she had the bigger machine behind her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But if y'all remember Mona Lisa, who came out with one album, what was it? It was her birthday, 11/20/79.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mona Lisa has some joints on there, and some of them songs, she definitely looked like she could sing Aaliyah under the table.
Yeah.
I mean, she could.
And they came out around the same time. They were both light skinned. They all had similar looks, but Aaliyah had the machine behind her.
Right.
Pause. Yeah. Yeah.
What are we pausing that for?
Yeah. I don't want to get in trouble, man. I don't want to get in trouble with nobody.
Oh
Right.
no.
But I used to say the same thing for Destiny's Child and Allure. Right. To me, Allure was one of those groups. I wish I could hit the Powerball and go back in time and save them. Right, because the dark skinned girl and the light skinned lead singer, you like, there were so many groups that were fringe, like 702. And I'm not, no disrespect to 702. I understand they've been through a lot of tragedy and all that stuff. So I'm not knocking 702, but 702 is not a law.
Nope.
Right. I'm sorry.
No, not at all. Not even close.
Moken Steph.
Sorry.
No disrespect to Moken Steph, right? Because I know they, but they are not a law. Another group that I bring up all the time, Ex-Girlfriend with Stacey Francis. Anybody remember that? I bought both the albums, bro. Both. I love Ex-Girlfriend. Classic Oakland Stroke albums, bro. Like people forget about them because of In Vogue, right? In Vogue occupied that space, but Ex-Girlfriend was a little bit more gritty with their songs, where In Vogue was a lot more classy with their songs.
And sorry.
No, go ahead, bro.
I was gonna tell you, because you're on that road, a group that I don't even know if you're familiar with them, but that went nowhere. Not gold, not diamond, not platinum, not nowhere. If there's a nowhere plaque, that's where they went. Kelly Rowland had a group called Chasing Destiny.
Oh wow.
Those sisters were dope. If you have,
you mean
you right now. Wait.
June's
Diary. June's Diary. That's right. Not Chasing Destiny. June's Diary is who I'm thinking of. That's correct. Thank you. Thank you, my brother.
Right.
Yes, June's Diary. If you have some time, some free time, just Google June's Diary on YouTube and you see a set of 5 girls that are supremely talented. They have the look, they can dance, and they can all switch off. And one is like more talented than the other. Who is the lead singer of this group? Because they all are dope. So yeah, and they went nowhere. They were Kelly Rowland's group, but for whatever reason, she couldn't get them to where they needed to be. And that's when I also started to realize that R&B groups were dead.
R&B groups are dead. Yeah.
Firing Squad.
And the irony is, with today's technology, R&B groups should be alive and well because it costs less to do more. Just on basic stuff. If you have like a 5-person group, right? You go to the hotel, you generally buying 5 rooms. Upstairs, they're gonna eat well. Everybody got their own outfit. Everybody getting a check. You know what I'm saying? Like all these accommodations that you do for 5 people, right? Now, though, with the production aspect of it, where people don't have to be there as much, the producer can have all 13 tracks ready by the time they show up. And you can record an album in about a month, maybe less, right? Now, with technology and such, it seems that way, right? DSJ is the expert, but it seems that way, right? And my thing
dueling
is...
personalities is the reason why R&B groups are dead.
Say that again?
Nobody grew up together anymore. Nobody sang together for a period of 5 years or longer. Everybody's being thrown together by labels or just the fact that you discover one person can sing just like you can. And that's really what the killer is. Financially, you have that aspect of it. Because why would I want to cut a check 5 ways when I can just do it for myself?
Oh yeah. Why would I want to cut a check 5 ways when the record company is only putting out 90? They keep 90%, 97% of the money. The other 3% got to get split by 68 employees.
Yeah.
And I didn't mean to cut you off, DSJ, but I'm just, another thing to your point and to what Freezie just said. Even the money that's split within the group members, but also the money that's spent on the label itself for all of the artists, all of the clothing, the incidentals, all the stuff, the state, everything that goes into that.
Yeah.
And through all of that, you got to consider all the aspects of it. You got to pay the lead singer more money. So, of course, there's going to be a slight towards the rest of the group. So, if somebody's going to feel away, it's human nature. Right? You also got the aspect of, the process of recording now. I can do all the harmonies by myself. I don't need anybody else to do my harmonies. I got that covered.
That's true. So
on top of that, the oversaturation. Yeah, and on top of that, the oversaturation of R&B groups in the 90s. I think that's kind of what killed it off too. I'll give you a prime example. Y'all remember Solo, right?
Yeah.
But do y'all remember Subway?
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What about 7 Mile?
Oh, nope.
What about No Question?
Nope.
What about Liberty City?
Nope.
Nope.
See what I'm saying? What about Prophet Jones?
Prophet Jones was
I think Freezie bought the album.
Remember the name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought Prophet Jones. I'm mad too.
But you see where I'm going? Like, there's so many profiles. There's so many artists out there. Ideal. There's so many acts out there that I can name that came out around that same time. That oversaturation got to a point where I don't hear any more of these groups.
Old school.
That's because you was putting out groups like Next. Like legit groups like Next, all you have to do is have 2 smashes, bro, and you'll be around forever. But when you ask these dudes to sing live, you're like, yeah. Like if I ask you what group is better, Intro or Next, who's better, Intro or Next?
Freezie, right? I got a story about that too. With RL.
Yeah.
Because there was I don't know if I told you that story. There was an R&B page back in 2018, and the creator made like a top 50 R&B artists, best R&B artists all time, including groups.
Okay.
And Next was on that list, and I felt like they're not top 50 all time when it comes to groups. What I didn't know was RL actually saw what I had to say, and he wasn't, he was mad at what I said, and we talked about it in the DM, and he tried to bribe me to change my opinion on Next.
Right.
And I told him it wasn't even. I've seen like so many great R&B artists of the last 32 years in live in concert, and it wasn't even about bribing me. It was more about you had like 2 big hits from your first album,
right?
Your second album you had Wifey. That's it. Other than that, Arista Records never gave them the money to do any other videos from the second album.
Right.
So how do you feel like
that album is fire? I think that album was criminally underrated.
The second Next album,
Welcome to Ecstasy, was a good album.
I think it was outdated. When you play it back now, it sounds like 2000.
Of course, but that was
live up to now.
Yeah, but that's what it's supposed to do. At that point in time, the music's innovative aspect of creativity was generated towards the whole cyber
what year did it come out? What year did it come out? I just want to be sure.
Literally 2000.
Yeah.
2000. Okay.
But when you hear DSJ, when you hear Alicia Keys' first album, that's from what, 2001? That you can still play that right now from beginning to end. You know what I'm saying? Like when you hear that Ecstasy album, everything sounds like generic on that album now.
Well, I mean, I do remember when I was in the studio with Next. No, I do remember watching.
Did they bust your eardrums? Did you?
Yeah, no, I remember. I remember watching.
Did they have to bring in Keisha Cole as a vocal coach?
Oh, ouch!
Wow. Oh, man.
Damn, Freezie.
I'm just asking, bro. Because I saw Deborah Cox the other day, and I asked her how she was doing, and she said her back was still hurting from carrying RL in that song they did together.
He mentioned that actually too, Freezie. That he wrote songs for Deborah Cox and for this, and he's like, "Oh, Philip Bailey's my cousin." Yeah, but your cousin is a legend. You ain't.
Yeah.
Ouch.
You know
but listen, I will say,
I'm just saying, I'm speaking from like a music fan. Like from a music fan, their first album was great, but their second and third album was forgettable.
Well,
I mean, felt like Next should be.
Were you talking about the singing?
I'm talking about like the
just like the overall.
Music. Yeah. RL is a great singer, and I told him that. Great singer. But for you to feel like Next should be top 50 all time over Earth, Wind & Fire, Kool and the Gang, New Edition, nah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not giving them that. Like I said, I stand on the Welcome to Next seat, especially during that time. But all of that stuff sounded the same. Chico DeBarge's second album was all cyber too. You know what I'm saying? Joe's My Name Is Joe album was all cyber. You know what I'm saying? For crying out loud, Next had a song called Cyber Sex. They wanted it to be. It was supposed to be quote unquote innovative because of the fact that the Y2K album time frame. You know what I'm saying? So
that's
all that stuff was supposed to sound. No, but all of it was supposed to sound like the future is here. Almost like how God did their third album. It was supposed to be like futuristic in the Y2K era because we just got into that millennium. So
Janet Jackson.
Like that's what the template of it was. It was like all of it's supposed to be like some merge between man and machine. You're supposed to now all of a sudden be able to do like the Max Headroom faces and stuff like that, and all three of them. It was crazy like that. That was how producers was making music at that point in time.
The irony though is at the same time that was happening, groups were putting out the songs like the Roots and Erykah Badu had a song that was just about the street. You know what I'm saying? The Jill Scott song.
The Jill Scott song,
yeah. And the
if you don't worry about where,
The irony is while they were doing that, Untitled, How Does It Feel was coming out, right? The irony, like when they were trying to make believe and do all that stuff in order to trick you into a thing. I mean, there were groups that were legit putting out just good music, right?
But you want to know what the difference is?
I'm sorry?
You want to know what the difference is?
No.
Creative control. Actually having the freedom to say, I like this and this is what I want to do, as opposed to compromising. Now, writing, you can write whatever. You know what I'm saying? Again, like in terms of that aspect of it, you're covered. You're good money. But in terms of production, Next don't have a say in production. Next don't have a team behind them. All their beats the majority of it comes from KG and his staff.
Yeah.
D'Angelo says,
you know what? On fire for a stretch though.
Yeah, but if D'Angelo said, "Hey, I'm getting in the studio, I want to work on some material," he's not calling producers; he's calling his bandmates.
Right.
And let's go ahead and rock.
Who would you Next or Lucy Pearl?
Lucy Pearl.
Yeah, I'm about to say Lucy Pearl.
Right.
From the aspect of
that's the point that I'm getting
at. It's a better overall product.
Yeah.
That's the point that I'm getting at. Like, I understand like being relevant in the time. Like, I understand that, bro. But Keith Washington, a crooner, had a song with Shantae Moore called "I Love You." Anybody remember that song, "I Love You" by Keith Washington and Shantae Moore?
Yeah.
Bro, that sounded nothing like Y2K, bro. And they couldn't keep that song off the radio, bro. Bro, I heard it and I turned my radio off. I turned it back on. Guess what was playing? That.
Right.
Bro, you can't keep certain
Right,
songs off the radio, bro.
You can't. But that's exactly why wifey won that shit. Like you couldn't, like they couldn't stop playing it. But you know what else happened too along the way? Again, and this is where RL's argument comes into play. RL's not singing on songs, but you're hearing RL's words being used because Ideal's song of them were ripped off from underground R&B group that Matthew Knowles was supposed to have discovered. Jaheim's anything. Jaheim's album, the majority of it was written by Jaheim, RL, and KG.
Okay.
His whole thing is he's looking, because I get it, you know what I'm saying, from the aspect of he's not hearing what you're saying about them not belonging in a top 50 over all of these other great groups. He's hearing you're disparaging his contribution to music.
But it wasn't even that, because I told him, I'm like individually he's a great singer. But if we talking all time R&B groups, I don't even think they're making that list.
Nah, bro.
Because I could easily replace. I could replace Tweet right now.
To me, he average, bro. I can go in C-Town right now and find a RL. In my opinion,
Man.
I could go to Woodbridge Mall right now and go find an RL. 3 of them. I can go find 3 of them in the Woodbridge Mall food court right now. In my opinion, right? And not because he doesn't sing well. It's because if you're telling me, can I find a high tenor tone singer with some street edge to him that can sing about love, bro? I'll take Tony Thompson over his ass 100 times out of 100 right now out the grave, bro. I'll program AI to sing like Tony Thompson right now, and RL is alive, and he won't be better than Tony Thompson, bro. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's fair, Freezie, as far as just grabbing someone who can sing and give you that feel and that vibe. You know, you could find that. I don't know if you'd be able to find a songwriter like RL, because I will say RL's a pretty damn decent songwriter.
Again, I'm not talking about the songwriter, bro.
I hear you.
Because there are songwriters out there that can't sing. Do we give them credit?
To dream. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Right, it's a bunch of them, like the lady that used to write for Vesta, the white lady that used to write for Vesta and Tina Marie. She can't sing, bro, but she can put them words on paper, bro. Richard Marx writing for Luther Vandross, bro. Richard Marx can sing, right? But he ain't Luther, bro.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? Burt Bacharach, bro.
Burt Bacharach, yeah.
Burt Bacharach can write, bro. I'm sorry, go ahead, bro.
No, that's exactly who I was naming. The same person.
Right. Burt Bacharach, bro. Burt Bacharach might be the greatest thing that ever happened to a pen and paper together. Right? Maybe, possibly. Right? The dude from Toto. I'm not from Toto. The dude from Heatwave. Rod Temperton.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Rod Temperton, bro. Come on, man. Can he sing? Yes. Is he Michael Jackson? No. Right? Bro, what I'm saying is I'm not disparaging people. Bro, I'm a professional writer myself. I'm a professional writer, bro. I got stuff right here, bro. I got stuff right here. When y'all be talking about Tom Thibodeau rotations, bro, I be having stuff right here. I'm a professional writer, bro. It's what I do, right? Part-time sometimes when Miss Mocha ain't trying to get me drunk, right? That's what I do, right? But and I'm not disparaging like the cats that write. What I'm saying is when you approach the microphone, you're held to a certain standard, right? When you approach the mic, you are held to a standard far beyond what is reasonable, right? And if you don't understand that before you step to the microphone, you will learn very fast, right? And for cats like RL, that's a singer, but an excellent writer. Bro, you not Joe. You not in a conversation with Joe, bro. Stop. He got to relax, bro. You going to argue with Triborough on the internet because you're an average singer with an excellent pen?
I mean, but I think for anybody, you should feel like you're the best at whatever you do. You know what I'm saying? I understand his point, but this is it was a public page, and they're asking people, you know, what do you think about the top 50 all time, you know, best singers in groups? And there's a lot of people on there that didn't belong on there. Ashanti was on there.
Oh,
she didn't belong on there.
Nah, she ain't.
Who?
Ashanti was on there. Next was on there. They had Jill Scott at number 50. Like, why is Ashanti over Jill Scott? That makes no sense.
She had more radio.
I had a problem with the list in general. It wasn't even. He just saw my comment and he was like, "Oh, why do you feel like Next is not better? We shouldn't be in the top 50." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Because Next is not better than Blue Magic. Next is not better than the Spinners, right?
No.
They're not better than the Delphonics, right? Next,
not better than the Gap Band.
Next might be a top 2,500 R&B group, right? Next could be somewhere between 100 and 2,500, bro. But listen, I'm not putting y'all over the SOS band. You get out of here. We got Next. We got Next up here over the Gap Band.
No,
that's crazy.
No.
That's just crazy saying it, right?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Next is up here better than the Four Tops.
No.
I mean, Next ain't better than. No, I was just gonna say Next ain't better than a lot of their contemporaries. Next is not better than Blackstreet. Next is not better than Drew Hill. Like Next
112?
No.
Yeah, and it's funny because I was honestly just about to say the same thing. As far as if you're looking at today's R&B or the R&B that came out at the same time, I could probably name about 5 groups better than them off top.
Pretty Ricky?
Okay, well, no, we got to stop.
Pretty Ricky's a little iffy.
Yeah, that's the range I have them in, though. That's the range I have them in right there.
I got you.
I don't have them better than Jagged Edge, bro. Jagged Edge?
No.
Nah, bro, we got to relax, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes the internet will inflate our greatness, bro.
Shout out to you for bringing up Jagged Edge. I just want to shout them out, too, because of the fact that Jagged Edge I thought was pretty cool just because of the twins. But when I found out the other dude could sing, too, I was like, oh, my bad.
Oh.
All right. Yeah, all right.
Yeah. They not a novelty, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wingo got pipes on them.
Yeah.
What's the group with the 2 big boys, the two extra large dudes?
Oh, real Minute Large?
Minute Large.
Maybe it is Minute Large, yeah.
Minute Large. Every time I hear them on something, bro, I'm like, these dudes can sing. I have Next in that category of the Goodfellas. Remember the Goodfellas? Sugar Honey Iced Tea?
Yeah, I remember.
That's that range I have them in. And I know that sounds
I think they're better than that.
That sounds disrespectful, but to me, the category above that is Solo. Is Next a better singing group than Solo?
I don't know.
No, the dudes in Solo can sing.
Solo was good.
But Next can make better music than Solo, I think. I don't know.
Right.
But Solo's they got better talent. They're better singers, yeah.
Like is Next better than the Rude Boys?
Oh, Rude
Slightly.
Boys.
I can't go there, bro. Yeah, nah.
I'll tell you who Next isn't better than. Next isn't better than Silk.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, that's not obvious, bro.
What are we talking about here?
We in a layup line now, bro.
No, don't do that.
But I'm just saying. I'm saying as far as the Rude Boys go, I think they might be one of those neck and neck situations. I think you might get the slight advantage type of thing.
I could tell Freezie's not rocking with that because I could see it. It's written all over his face. I could tell.
You don't have to say a word. I know.
You don't have to say a word, bro. Yo, I ain't gonna lie to you. Next is the Quentin Grimes of R&B singing.
Wow.
I'm
Well, what are we talking? Hey, Ron, you remember how we had the conversation about Boys II Men? How a group is super talented and they may do the same thing over and over in that sound, and you're like, bro, every song sound the same. Can you please step out and do something a little bit, bro? When you start inflating Next, you're starting to push them up, and the more you insert Next into a conversation, the more the closer they get to New Edition, Boys II Men, Silk. And to be honest with you, what are we even doing?
Well, you know how I feel, Freezie.
Next,
we had a conversation earlier about
who's better, Next or Jodeci?
Oof,
Jodeci.
Well, I mean, hold on, let me think about it.
Everybody knows Next is better now.
We're talking about songwriting and creativity, right? We're talking about songwriting and creativity, right? That was one of our talking points.
Right.
Who is more creative,
because
Next or Jodeci?
So the difference here is, right, because you no, I mean, it's Jodeci hands down, but I'm saying Jodeci is so good and so much better. What?
How is it hands down when we're talking about the ink pen, right? Because RL wrote more than Next, bro.
Yeah, but the Jodeci is so good that they could take whatever RL writes or
whatever
anybody and outsing Next, on whatever. It's different. I don't know. It's not.
Did you enjoy some
vocally, to me? I think they're better vocally. Like just Casey and JoJo alone is better than RL and Next vocally to me.
But what about the creativity part though? That's the part of the conversation.
Yeah, I think they had better songs. I think they were creatively better. Like if you look at it like Next, their big hits was with KG. Jodeci could work with any producer and still give you a hit record.
No, but I see where Freezie's going. I mean, it's not even close though. Like I said, I give credit to RL for his pen, but I'm not the creativity level that Jodeci brings with the music and the harmonies and the stacks and all. No, that's not.
I got one for you. Since we talking about KG, I don't think Next is better than Janae.
I think they are. I
think
Janae has two good albums over them. To me, I think they are.
You mean you think Janae's better than Next?
Yes, better than Next.
Yeah, yes. I agree too. I think Janae. I think a lot of people are realizing how good Janae is now more than ever. I'm hearing Janae talked about so much now more than they were ever talked about when they were rocking.
When they were right,
because I think they were ahead of their time in their sound and stuff, and so people are realizing, man, Janae was a beast.
Yeah. They had a song called "La La La" on their first album, bro. And when I be preparing, like when me and I just keep it like the G version. Like when me and Mo be in here, like get ready for dinner and all that stuff, we're like on our playlist, we have songs like La 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 by Janae, right?
Mm-hmm.
The ambiance is right. Your fireplace going, you know what I'm saying? You got them big $70 candles that you get off the internet, that you spent for, bro, who spent $70 on a candle, bro? But anyway, my point is on that playlist, you have songs like I Can't Keep Waiting on You by En Vogue. That song, I Can't Keep Wasting My Time Waiting on You, that En Vogue song. You have songs like that on there. You have La 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 on there. You have like classic R&B joints on there, like the SWV song, what she did, they sang with the Brian Michael Cox, I think that's his name. The song on their first album.
You're always on my mind.
You're always
on my mind.
Yeah, bro. Songs like that on there, and we are talking about Next. Can you find me in a summer in a bumpy and in the bumpy? Come on, bro. Get the fuck. What are we talking about?
Hold on, you don't want to take the sippy?
Right. What are we talking about, bro?
I mean, I hear you, but I ain't gonna lie to you. Like Butter Love was the joint, and I used to be on campus rock, and Butter Love would come on. We would watch them late night videos, and that joint was rocking.
Yeah, because it was.
You want to know what's so funny?
Different. Yeah,
I literally just did a show Wednesday where I did a mashup of Hood Goddess and transitioned it into Butter Love,
Hmm.
doing the first verse of it, and I swear, like I had the entire audience singing along with that part of the song.
Yeah, Butter Love was a joint.
Yeah, that was a
It's
joke.
They had
crazy.
that one.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Butter Love, I think Butter Love was the perfect debut, right? I think the problem is again where even where Triborough makes the sense of what happens after that, like what happens after Butter Love. Can you name the next single that came after that? And then when it came down to the next album, can you name what happened after White?
Right.
Too Close is a club banger, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Too
Yeah.
Close is dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Too
mean
Close.
it was,
Too Close.
and not taking away from it. I'm just saying as far as like the staying power of like, because after that, okay, like, do you remember I Still Love You?
By
Mhm.
702.
No,
No,
by next.
by Next.
Oh, I don't
I
listen to that.
still love you, babe. See what I mean?
I don't
Like
listen to that.
immediately forgotten, and
Yeah.
it was a single. It charted,
Yeah,
right?
I don't listen to that, bro. What the fuck?
But
Well,
I do remember that song though. I Still Love You. I remember that.
you know who goes hand in hand with Next? It's messed up, but it's true.
Solo.
H-Town.
What?
H-Town.
It's Sunshine Anderson. Heard it
H-Town,
all
man.
before.
You think about H-Town, they are in that same realm.
Blue Cantrell.
Oh, Blue Cantrell. Oof.
I'm saying we talking about that 97, 98 window, right? That 96, 97.
No, she was 2000s.
Yeah, but Blue Cantrell
That was
came out
2000.
about 2001, 2002 area.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Glenn Lewis,
Mm-mm.
Kenny Lattimore.
2002,
Mm-mm.
96.
That was the 90s.
Yeah, bro. What I'm saying is Next is a good group, right? But let's just keep. It's like when we have the Christopher Williams conversation, right? Let's just keep Christopher Williams in 1992, bro. Not 93, not 94, not 95.
Don't do that.
Bro,
He had an underrated album. He had Changes. That to me was one of his best albums.
Changes. Yeah, you know
It
what
wasn't
I mean?
promoted though, and they kicked him off the Uptown MCA tour.
Yeah, because he was wilding because he went in there and messed up the office, and then he got.
Well, now we know why.
Yeah, now we know why.
Sorry. Wait, no.
I'm looking for those Diddy pictures.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, now we know why. But my thing though is like with groups like Next, I think it's unfair to groups like Today, right?
I was thinking Today.
Today was right in a moment, bro. Right at the when New Jack Swing was about to like close the door. Like when New Jack Swing was about to be faded out by whatever, right? Today was like one of those groups that you forget about, but then you spend an hour talking about Next. And I appreciate Next for what they were, right? I appreciate Next for what they were, right? But to me, a group like the Boys was in a certain time space window too, where you couldn't keep the Boys off the radio.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? 112 had a 3-album stretch where you're like, the first album is great, the second album is good, the third album is maybe we should start doing other stuff.
Mm.
I actually love the third album more than the first two.
Really?
I mean, the first one
Dreams.
was great. Second one was good, but the third one, I guess because it was heavily promoted and they had the big records like Peaches and Cream, It's Over Now. Yeah, you know, and Dance with Me. That they had some major bangers.
Am I the only one? Yeah, am I the only one that didn't like Peaches and Cream like that?
Yeah, I like that one.
I'm gonna play it was off on that album, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna play it was on that too.
Play it was fire.
Yeah.
Play was probably the saving grace to me on that album.
You didn't like Peaches and Cream? You didn't like the synthesizer on it? I think the synthesizer was original. I think that was that was the synthesizer on that kind of brought them back into a little bit of relevance. But you know, that era, Next, 112, whatever. Yeah, there's you get
Damn
your
it.
you get your three
It
albums.
just felt like you know what? I'll be honest with you. I know exactly why I didn't like Peaches and Cream, right? Um, in terms of production, there was nothing. There was nothing better. And I will give you a prime example, right? Their first album is probably by far considered a modern classic debut,
Right.
right?
Okay.
Because they knew how to form the sound of the street, right? Using the samples that made the bad boy sound along with their harmonies. Like the mesh was perfect. With Peaches and Cream, it felt like you were trying to jam a quarter into a broken slot out of order machine.
Okay.
It felt forced,
It didn't
and it
fit them.
felt like
Right.
and it felt like because again, even with the idea of when you bring in the idea of the "It's Over Now," right?
Right.
"It's Over Now" sounds completely different from "Quiet Storm." Same beat, right? The
Okay.
same sample,
Mm-hmm.
but you notice how smoother it sounded to fit the R&B mold.
Right.
It wasn't as
But
bold as Peaches and Cream was.
I
Even
think
Dance With Me.
I agree with you.
Dance With Me
But
had the heavy 808s, but the actual sound of the song was smoother than what Peaches and Cream was. And I think that's where, for me, it flopped to me. Same thing with the Hot and Wet album. All of it sounded like Peaches and Cream production.
Okay.
I
And
think
the simplicity, I didn't like the simplicity of the melody either. It sounded like
Are
but it
you
something I
was
would
a,
have
are
it was
you a
came up
with
112 hater? Do you dislike 112?
Not at all. Listen, I loved their first two albums. I loved their first two albums.
Let
I
me ask
bump
you
it to
this
this
about
day.
Next, and then I'll move out of the way because I think Ryan wanted. I think Ryan gonna go at you, bro. And I just wanted to step in because I didn't want him to go at you like a dungeon dragon, right? Soul for
Rah, rah,
real,
I got it.
soul for real, or next.
Well, I have to go with next for the body of work.
What? Over Soul for Real? No,
Body of work. Body of
no.
work.
Their body work is terrible. What do you mean? They have one
Yo!
good album.
Oh my god!
Hold on. Soul for real had one album.
They had two albums. Only one was like the best one.
Okay, so for me, again, you asking me, I got them with one great album and one that I honestly could have frisbee.
Forgettable. Yeah. Okay.
So with
Same
next,
thing.
I have, even if I want to say, right, as far as next to see in the next episode, it's something harmony wise. Soul for real got it all day. Musically, like the body of work to complete a whole song, I really didn't like the album content as much as I like Next's. And we're talking about body of work, not just the talent. We're talking about the whole framework. Right
Okay.
now, if you sat there and asked me to name more than two songs from Soul for Real, I couldn't.
Okay.
Wow,
hmm. Okay.
that's interesting.
So back to your peaches and cream thing.
Yeah,
I think that 112 just decided to follow the trajectory of what music was becoming at the time.
What was on the radio?
Yeah, and I think that first 112 album is really probably one of the better albums in R&B, but because it was very ballad heavy, and there's a lot of songs on that first album that didn't get no airplay and are very slow and melodic, right? I think they realized, and plus Diddy, he wanted to make them dance, all that stuff. I think they made a concerted effort to give you a little bit more groove going into those songs. So when you say that there's not a lot going on with them, it's just maybe just a bop. That was purposeful, and I just think that. But in essence, it blew them up even more. It had them they was performing on the Apollo, and only one of them could dance. You know what I mean? Like maybe one and a half. But they had to learn dance moves just to keep up with the songs they were making, and nobody cared because they were the bops. But you look at them dance moves, them dudes wasn't dancing. So I'm just saying, it was New Edition dancing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen, I've seen them in concert, and I can tell you for sure they can't dance.
Oh, I know.
Right. But personally, my thing is this: I'm gonna spend more money in concert than I'll spend on your album, right? But I'm gonna spend more time with your album than I'm gonna spend in concert, right? I go see you in concert. I don't want to see you no more unless you're Melissa Morgan. I'll go see Melissa Morgan tonight. Yeah, I'll go see her tonight in Boston right now. People like Melissa Morgan that engages with the audience and has a distinct sound. Sade, I'll go to the moon to see Sade tonight, right? But Next can be performing on the next street over, right? In 2 hours with me time to prepare. And I would rather throw some shit in the microwave and sit down and watch Law and Order SVU. And no disrespect to Next, but the point that I was getting at is these groups, they are so cookie cutter. Okay, so who would I prefer? Next or Blackstreet? They were out around the same time.
Blackstreet.
Blackstreet with all the members.
Right. Blackstreet in any iteration.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right. And so no disrespect to Next, but Next is they were hot for that stretch of time, and I think they should stay there. I don't want to stretch them. I don't want to have the conversation. Are they better than Mint Condition? I don't want to have that conversation. You know what I'm saying? Next is Next, bro. Mint Condition was out during the same stretch, right? I don't want to have that conversation. Next and Tony. Right? I don't want to have these type of conversations, bro. It's to me personally, it's disrespectful, right? Because Next had a song on the charts at the same time as New Edition. Do I want to have the Next versus New Edition conversation? Right. At the same time, Next was out. Not Butter Love, but Too Close was out. New Edition had a song called Hit Me Off that was out. Right? Do I want to have that conversation of Next and New Edition? No. Next was good for a time, and that was it. Right? It's like when y'all think I be disrespectful to Jay Dilla. I'm not disrespectful to Jay Dilla. Jay Dilla was hot for like a stretch, a moment, but I want to keep him in that moment. Right? I don't want to start comparing Jay Dilla to Larry Smith. Right? Larry Smith is the GOAT of all GOATs. Larry Smith was the first GOAT. Larry Smith was the first GOAT to ever have horns and smell bad. Right? Larry Smith is the original GOAT. I don't want to have the Jay Dilla versus Larry Smith conversation. It's the same thing with Next. Next was in that range from about 95 to like 99. They were pretty good. They were hot during that stretch, but I don't know if I want to compare them to Ron, who my guys that High Five. I don't want to compare them to High Five, bro.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to compare them to Silk. After 7, if we start talking about R&B groups from the 90s, are we really going to start talking about Next versus After 7?
Can't do it.
Nah, bro. That's what
I won't.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And no disrespect to Next, but I will disrespect them if they get out of their lane, bro. Stay in your lane.
I hear that.
That's my thing. Try like I think everybody has a lane.
In the building.
Right. I agree.
Am I wrong for that? Should I
No,
compare
I
every
agree.
group of every
No, I
era
agree.
and that had hits and then start saying, yo, who do I prefer next or the Temptations? Is that where we going now?
No.
I don't know. RL might hit him with "Ain't nobody come to see you" over this kind of situation. I don't want to have to see that. Like,
He blocked me because of that whole conversation though. So like he really believed that Next was one of the best. So I'm like, that's great for him to believe, but I don't feel like they one of the best.
I mean, they
that was just my point. Like,
they
there's so
have
many
been.
other groups that were better.
They could have been, but it didn't happen
Right.
that way. They had a chance to really get some stuff going, but it didn't happen that way. So,
but ain't that something? He out here blocking you for not rocking with Next and starting from Next or getting fired from Next. Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about that.
Can I ask y'all in these last few minutes? Can I ask y'all? Can I just there's a fire going on, and I want to throw some gasoline on it, and maybe we can solve this in like 5 minutes. You think we can? Try.
Let's try.
Who in your mind is the better R&B artist of all time? R. Kelly or Usher?
It's R. Kelly. It's R. Kelly, hands down. That he changed R&B. And I think he gave away more hits to artists than he kept for himself. But he, I mean, as an artist, he was great. Like I got the opportunity to see him in concert, and even at the concert, like he didn't just do R&B, but he sang opera. You know what I'm saying? It's not too many R&B artists that you go to see live, and they sing an opera. And he did everything himself. Like he didn't run to the hottest producers. He produced everything himself and mixed it, mastered it.
Right.
Composed it, everything. Like he was a one-man band. You know what I'm saying? And he has many classic, records and albums, and I think he changed the face of R&B forever. He was great.
Ron, you feel the same way?
No. I agree with everything that Triborough is saying as far as the R. Kelly's impact and what he did for the music. It's undeniable. But as far as the better artist, I don't know, man. I think Usher just so the question wasn't who's the better songwriter. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
right himself.
I'm gonna say Usher because of the singing, and not for nothing, Usher's singing has improved as he's gotten older. He's gotten better, and the dancing. I mean, he's just an all around great performer. Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it, just from purely that standpoint. If we get into the songwriting bag and producing bag, then it's a whole nother thing with R. Kelly. That is way different. I'm gonna leave it there. That's how I look at it.
DSJ, can you be the tiebreaker?
Of course I can, because R. Kelly was always going to be the king. K-A-N-G.
Okay.
He's the better artist.
Okay.
When you look at everything that he was able to do, everything he's able to embody, the way that he creates songs for other people, to mimic other people, right? To actually
I agree with
be
DSJ and Triborough. I think Usher is overrated, bro. I don't even know why I put him in R.
No,
Kelly.
I don't think he's overrated at all.
Yeah, man.
What?
I heard good the other day. And I was like, oh my God, what is this?
Oh,
What
man.
is this dude? This dude, who is this?
So
Ty
you're
Dolla
basing that
$ign?
song on his whole career? You're basing that good song?
Nah, I'm saying, bro, who would I rather listen? Ty Dolla $ign or Usher? Ty Dolla $ign.
Well, all right, but if you're gonna do that, and since you
well,
brought up
well,
R.
more than
Kelly,
likely, you probably did because he probably wrote some of those songs anyway.
I wouldn't
Right.
doubt it.
Right.
Because I mean, we ain't good, but we real good. If we go and look at it that way, then you got to compare current Usher music to most recent R. Kelly music. Which, let me tell you, most recent R. Kelly music wasn't really hitting before he stopped making songs.
I think R. Kelly is in the category with Marvin Gaye and Stevie Wonder. Right, Lionel Richie. I don't think you can even put R. Kelly in a category.
It's a different bag.
Right. I think Usher is probably in that Chris Brown category. Like, who's better, Usher or Chris Brown? Who's better, Usher, Chris Brown, Michael Jackson? Right.
Michael.
Right.
Who is better, Usher or Chris Brown?
Michael Jackson. I don't listen to Chris Brown, bro. I don't listen to Chris Brown at all, bro.
I think Chris Brown is a better dancer at this point than Usher. But body of work, I'm still going with Usher.
Usher is better, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why. Right? Because even if you want to keep everything on the, I was just talking about him and Chris Brown.
Oh yeah, okay. So I'm not gonna enter the Chris Brown conversation, y'all.
You Switzerland on this one.
Yeah, because I don't listen to Chris Brown that much, so I can't really judge him. I'm not saying he's bad. What I'm saying is I just don't.
No, but and I get it, right? But here's the reason why. Because if I put everything on an even playing field, first off, both of them have writers. They don't really write their R&B music, right? Yeah. They're both great dancers. Now here's where the tiebreaker comes into play. Usher has better albums. Even if you want to sit here and say Chris Brown got the same amount of hits as Usher, you can agree with that all day. That's fine. But Chris Brown doesn't have a Confessions. He doesn't have an 8701.
I disagree.
So
I disagree. I think the Fame album was his best album.
The whole album?
Fame. The one with the deuces and he had no bullshit.
See, I guess I disagree with both of y'all. I think Chris Brown's first album was his best album. Okay. The songs and the production from top to bottom and a lot of that album, or I thought was phenomenal. The problem with the album is that it was sung by a young kid.
Right.
So I think that takes away from how good the album was. If he was a little older when he recorded it and his voice was a little bit more mature, I think that album would be renowned as one of the best R&B albums.
I agree.
I mean, I'm not saying it's better than Confessions. I think it could equal an 8701.
How good was Confessions?
Not too bad. It's all right.
Would you put Confessions up there with the Purple Rain?
I gotta go. Yeah, I have to go.
All right, boss.
All right, bro.
I wouldn't put it up on that level. I don't even think Confessions is his best album for me. I think I always loved My Way and 8701 more.
Okay.
But Confessions, I will say Confessions is his last great album. Everything else after that, I don't think was even on that level.
Okay.
But Purple Rain was just a different.
Let me look this up.
A different monster.
What's your favorite song on the Purple Rain album?
Oh man, I got Pictures One.
Yeah,
I mean,
just because I just want to get a sense for
the ballad, the title track alone, like that whole scene at the end of Purple Rain in the movie when he's like performing it in front of everybody for the first time, and at the club, and that was just like a memorable scene for me in that movie.
the whole movie. The whole movie, Purple Rain, was centered around him creating his piece de resistance.
Right.
And then he whips that piece de resistance out at the end of the movie. Right. And you're like, damn, we just sat through 2 hours and it was building up to this moment. Purple Rain cinematically was not a great looking movie. Right. Cinematically, it wasn't. Now, the story of Purple Rain was a masterpiece, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Right. And because I was asked which movie did I prefer, Purple Rain or La Bamba. Right. To me, the story of Richie Valens was told in a way that La Bamba is a classic, in a way that a non-music movie like Stand By Me was a classic. Right. But when you compare La Bamba to Purple Rain, there is no major tragedy in Purple Rain. At the end of Purple Rain, Prince's parents got back together. Remember when his pops was in the bed, his mother was right there when he woke up. Remember that? Right? Prince got everything that he wanted and deserved. All the hard work he put in paid off. Right? But in La Bamba, at the end, when the guy comes over the radio and announces that there was a plane crash and certain singers were killed in a plane crash, and when Richie Valens' mother hears his name announced over that radio, right? Richie Valens was killed in a plane crash last night and such and such and such. It sent chills down your spine because Richie Valens, I'm going to say that, and I might be overstating this, but Richie Valens at that time was headed down that path where he may have been bigger than Elvis, right? Because he goes from not being noticed, nobody wants to hear him. He's super talented. He creates a song, Donna, to the girl that he loved. He got to sing it like 52 million thousand quadrillion times just to get it right because the technology wasn't right. But he loved the song so much that every time he sung it, he was thinking about the girl he wrote the song for, right? So he was mad. He didn't want to sing it, but whatever, he got it right. And it wound up being a smash, right? It wound up being a smash. So when you talk about Purple Rain or La Bamba, you're thinking like, okay, which do you prefer? Do you prefer the story of Richie Valens, right? Or do you prefer, or do you value the story of Richie Valens? Paradise Lost is basically what the Richie Valens story is. All this stuff is available to him, but before you can take off, it's all gone because the man passed away. Right. But in Purple Rain, in Purple Rain, the entire industry was against the kid, right? His father was a failed songwriter. All this stuff, all this talent his father had, should the son pay for the sins of the father? All these little storylines in Purple Rain that you really don't. And Prince in Purple Rain, all the songs on that soundtrack, right, went directly with a part in the movie, right? It wasn't like, yo, I got these bunch of songs like R&B singers do now. I got a bunch of songs. Let's name it Firestar, and only one song references Firestar. Purple Rain. When he talked about the beautiful ones, like the beautiful ones, right? The beautiful ones wasn't just about the girl. The beautiful ones was written about all the rich, powerful, beautiful people that always get kind of like whatever they want, and all Prince wanted was the pretty girl, right? That's all Prince wanted, and the beautiful ones, right? And then when you watch the movie, you're like, oh, okay, the beautiful ones go with you. Take me with you, right? When the girl finally fall in love with him, she like, I don't care where we go, just take me with you, right? Like so when you look at La Bamba and Purple Rain, when you think about Purple Rain, like when Cats was complaining, when Cats have it good, Ron, like when Cats have it good, right? Cats have it good and don't know how good they have it. Prince says, and this is what it sounds like when doves cry. Y'all got everything y'all want and y'all still complaining?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is what it sounds like when doves cry, right? Prince frustration, right? All he want to do is get on stage and sing. He just make the song, let's go crazy. Just all of Purple Rain, bro, is so in line with all that stuff. And I know I got off topic a little bit, right? Got a topic a little bit, but basically the thing that I'm getting at is if you compare La Bamba, which is a very interesting, bro, I don't even like watching La Bamba right now because I know what the ending of it is. Just like I don't like watching Coolie High because I know what the ending is, right?
100%.
You know what I'm saying? You know the ending. You like, oh man. But Purple Rain, you can watch it over and over, and it wasn't as beautiful of a movie cinematically as La Bamba, right? Like when Bob took Richie to Mexico, and he was like, man, you can get whatever you want, and dude just walked over to him and said, smell like fish, taste like chicken. Remember that? In La Bamba.
I just saw that movie a couple weeks ago again.
Bro, yeah.
I've seen it multiple times.
Yeah, man. So anyway.
But here's the thing though, right? Because when I look at when you initially said what's better, Purple Rain or Confessions, when you look at both albums, me personally, Purple Rain has 9 songs on it. I like 6 of the songs. Now, I will say, I like 6 of those songs, and 5 of those songs are great.
Right.
So that says a lot about how good the album. I did 9 songs, 6 songs I like, and 5 of them are great. Now, when Confessions is 19 tracks, and there's an intro that's 47 seconds, which is not a song, and then there's 2 other songs on it that I don't like. But outside of that, there's 16 songs on that album that I actually like. That's me.
Okay.
I'm not saying all 16 are great. I would say maybe 4 or 5 are really, really good songs, in my opinion. But then there's other songs that I like more than the average person, like Follow Me. That's my joint. Not everybody cares about that song, but whatever. But the point that I was trying to make is I think it's tough for me to pick one over the other, even though Purple Rain's my whole thing is I think the movie blew it up. So I wonder how would Purple Rain be as good as it was without the movie? Maybe eventually, but I think with the combination of the album and the movie going together and how you said it fits perfectly and how it was a great idea by Prince to tie those two together. It was phenomenal. I think you're not being fair to Prince, bro. Let me tell you why. Right? Because Michael Jackson, the year before, had an album that came out with limited songs, right? Mm-hmm.
And one of the songs on that album had a theatrical movie video to it that was about 20 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
And if that album didn't have that theatrical movie type video that premiered on MTV, there was a countdown clock on MTV saying this song is going to premiere in 17 hours and such minutes with the seconds counting down, right? Would Thriller be as big as Purple Rain? I know that don't seem fair.
Yes, I think it would, without the movie, I think it still be a classic album.
So the song, Thriller. So you're saying would Thriller be the same without the video?
Yes, I think so. And I think the same thing for Purple Rain also.
I mean, I think it. I don't know, bro. I agree. The song itself is dope. Thriller is a phenomenal song, but that video really does take it to the next level with the dance moves and stuff. Like
that's the point that I'm getting at.
I get what you're saying.
The point that I'm getting at is Thriller was so crossover, bro, that it had Vincent Price in it, bro. Vincent Price was what narrated part of the beginning of the song, bro.
I see your point.
And Thriller came out at the very beginning of the zombie takeover in the movie theaters. Y'all remember the beginning of the zombie movie era in the early 80s? I forget what not the Grateful Dead. I'm sorry. The
Evil Dead. Night of the Living Dead. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I see your point. I mean, that is a fair, and I will say that I give credit to Prince once again for putting all of that together and making it so good and so impactful, because the songs, the production, the lyrics, and how it all tied in, and him singing the songs was phenomenal, because that formula doesn't always work under the Graffiti Bridge. So I get it.
Under the cherry moon.
I mean, whatever. Yeah, under the cherry moon. It was Graffiti Bridge. That was it. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't always work. So I get it.
Yeah. It doesn't always. It doesn't always work. But real quick, man, I'm just say this, man. I think Purple Rain, outside of the Forrest Gump soundtrack, I think Purple Rain is the greatest movie soundtrack ever. Now, I know the Boomerang soundtrack is fire. I know. Right. I know.
So is Waiting to Exhale, though.
It was all right.
Saturday Night Fever.
Oh,
although
my joint is on there by the Tramps. Disco Inferno is on there.
Yeah.
One of them Bee Gees songs, the song is the whole song is the same words. It's just repeated 45,000 times. I don't know which one it is. It's one of them. I was like, they just said the same thing over and over, and I'm rocking, but I'm like,
James Brown first.
There ain't no words.
James Brown's first hit was please, please, please. Where he said for 8.5 minutes, he just said please.
Right.
So
it's true.
Yeah. All right, fellas, that's all I got. Y'all got anything else y'all want to talk about before we
I didn't get a chance to do my list though.
Oh, you want to do a list? Come on.
I had Tevin Campbell Alone With You. I had that on the list.
Okay.
Heat Wave, Always and Forever.
Oh.
The Gap Band, Yearning for Your Love. Yeah. Tony Braxton, Breathe Again.
See, I like that, Triborough. A man who likes Breathe Again. Good job.
Yes, that's a great. I love that song. Mariah Carey, Vision of Love.
Thought about that one. I like Love Takes Time just a little bit more, but I'm with you.
Boyz II Men, On Bended Knee.
Freezie hates that one.
Right.
Oh wow. What?
Right. Yeah, it was all right. Vibing is better, but okay.
Yeah, vibing was good. I had Adele, Hello. Stevie Wonder, I just called it Say I Love You.
Okay.
Yeah. So those and then I had Kenny Rogers, Lady. I know Lady was done by Lionel Richie.
Yeah.
But I had the Kenny Rogers version on the list too.
Oh.
So, but would the Kenny Rogers version be R&B?
It sounds. It's like it's
but then
ballad,
again,
but I know it's a country artist, but
he's a country artist, but
country artist
they say it's hand in hand.
Yeah.
Okay. I should have did a list too, man.
You should have did a list too.
I think R. Kelly should have been on a list. Like,
I know, but then it would have been a whole R. Kelly list because he had too many.
Yeah.
But what would you have put from R. Kelly?
Man, I don't know.
Because arguably his best hit is not an R&B hit, but he's an R&B singer, so does it still count as R&B?
Really?
I Believe I Can Fly.
Yeah.
That's his biggest selling hit.
Right.
I think 12 Play had some joints on it, bro.
Oh, it definitely did.
Bump and Grind. Oh my gosh, bro. Your Body's Calling. That's the song I was trying to remember.
That's a great one.
That's a good
Down
one.
Low was fire.
Down Low. I like the remix. I like the remix.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I like 12 Play.
12 Play was great too.
12 Play.
Yeah.
I cannot remember the name of the song that it was on the album with I Wish. I wish.
That's from TP2. The TP2 album.
Yeah. Now I Believe I Can Fly.
No.
Greatest Sex Ever.
Great. That's a good one.
I think it's the song that I like on there.
Isn't Woman Fed Up on that one too? I think so.
That's on the double album.
The R.
Yeah.
The R. That's the one with etc.
Yeah.
Etc. is one of my favorite songs by him.
Yeah, that was good.
Man, R. Kelly has. Yeah.
But he's also got You Remind Me of My Jeep. But either way. Yeah.
I think my favorite R. Kelly song is Trade in My Life. You remember that?
Yeah.
On that same album, what You Remind Me.
The self-titled joint.
Yeah. So, but all right, man, that's all I got, everybody. I'm gonna go in here, get me some rest. Try. We gotta have you on, bro. We gotta do a soul singers list, bro. Like a top 5 soul singers of all time, regardless of sex.
Okay.
Man or woman. Right? Would you have Luther on there? Top 5 singers of all time?
Yeah, for sure. Luther, yeah. Like early Luther, I loved his stuff, man.
Ron, would you
definitely?
Would I have what?
Top 5 soul singers of all time. Would you have Luther on that list?
That's a tricky question. I think we've been down this road. He was on my list, but he wasn't on y'all's list.
Yeah, man. I think my list is kind of weird, man, because I got RL on my list. I'm messing around. Yeah, but anyway, thank y'all everybody for coming through and hanging out with us. We're probably gonna do some more stuff on Vibes. I appreciate everybody coming through and hanging out. Peace, everybody.